Hello and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium for WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. We're coming back to you for the second game in this midweek set for the Wolverines. They faced off in the clash for Comerica against Michigan State University. Last night, Michigan fell in that game 4-2 to the Michigan State Spartans, but they are back here trying to get back in the win column against the Eastern Michigan Eagles for a 4 o'clock start here. I'm Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman. We are just about ready to get things underway. The Wolverines coming into this game at 21-15. Eastern Michigan sitting at 13-23. These teams squared off just a week ago, and Michigan took that contest rather handily. Final score 18-4. That was a week and a day ago on April 7th. And now Keith Lehman will step to the mound for one of his first starts of the year. He's bouncing back from injury, and he's going to be going against Jordan Peterson, the right fielder for the Eagles. We're just about ready to get things underway. Lehman comes set, now delivers. First pitch is a strike in the outside corner. First pitch at 3:59 p.m. and game time temperature of 64 degrees. 0-1 the count on Jordan Peterson. Here's the delivery. That one's grounded on a couple of bounces over to third base. Mazes fields it, flips over to first, and gets Peterson by about 2 steps. Jusic records the out there. 1 up, 1 down here for Keith Lehman in the first inning. Now coming up, John Rubino, the second baseman for the Eagles, batting .253 on the year. Also 13 walks. He'll step into that right-handed batter's box. Rubino, small in stature, standing at only 5'8", 172 pounds. Here's the first pitch from Lehman. That misses outside. Correction, that just hits the outside corner for a strike. Rubino will step out, take a few practice cuts, now dig back in. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2. Got him crossed up there with the breaking ball. Mazes will now retreat. He was on the edge of the grass for a potential bunt. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside. Now 1-2. Lugbauer behind the plate for the Wolverines today after Kendall Patrick got the start yesterday. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's belted right at the shortstop. Bibbins off his glove, and they'll get over his head. Likely an error there. And Rubino is able to reach base. 1 out here for the Eagles in the top of the first inning. And we're waiting the official ruling from the scorekeeper. I believe that will be ruled an error. Should be a pretty routine play. And they're going to call that a single. Interesting decision. Looked like Bibbins should have been able to make that play, but nonetheless, they'll rule it a hit. First hit of the day for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Now McGeehan will step in to that ready batter's box. Fastball hits the outside corner for strike, 0-1. Rubino, 15 of 18 on steal attempts on the year. He takes a sizable lead off first base. Jusic holding with him there, and there's a throw over. Just barely gets back in time with a head-first slide. Count still 0-1 on McGeehan. Mitch McGeehan, the third baseman for the Eagles. Another throw over by Lehman. Almost got him. 2 very close calls over there at first base. Kyle Jusic holding with the speedster Rubino at first base. McGeehan, the big man for the Eagles, waving that orange bat over his right shoulder. Next pitch misses outside. Tries to get another fastball in there. Evens the count at 1-1. McGeehan standing at 6'1", 210 pounds from Calgary, Alberta. The Canadian third baseman. Shade pretty much straight up are the outfielders. Lehman holds it for an extra beat. Now delivers home. 1-1 pitch. Misses low and inside. That'll be actually called a strike. Home plate umpire Robert Lothian has been generous so far on his calls. Lehman takes a long look in to the catcher, Lugbauer. He comes set. Now we'll throw over. And just barely safe in there again is Rubino. Three very close calls. Rubino knows he's a good base stealer and taking an aggressive lead. Solid 8 or 9 feet off the bag, but he's been able to get it back in safely on the 3 pickoff attempts. 1-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to center field. Glines is tracking it, and Bruder will come over and make the catch. He'll throw back in quickly to make sure that Rubino cannot tag up. That's out number 2 of the second inning. Long fly ball out off the bat of Mitch McGeehan, and they'll bring up the cleanup batter, John Montgomery, the first baseman. He'll dig into that lefty batter's box, hitting .289 of the year, slugging .456. 3 doubles, 4 home runs for John Montgomery, looking to build to this rally. Rubino takes his lead off first. Jusic holding with him there. Lehman delivers home. The runner's going. Throw it down to second. That one will get away from Bivens. And Rubino will not advance on that one. It got into center field. Looks once again like Bivens should have been able to make that catch, but he was unable to do so. And Rubino will move up into scoring position with 2 outs on that stolen base. Wolverines fortunate that Rubino did not go any further. Montgomery waiting for that 1-0, waiting for a 1-0 pitch. Rubino dancing around at second base. Lehman checks the runner, now comes home with the 1-0, misses outside. 2-0. Wolverines infield shading Montgomery to pull. Outfield pretty much straight up. He's looking at a 2-0 count here. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score from Ray Fisher Stadium. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball. Moves the count to 2-1. Bino, the runner standing on second, will take his lead. Bivens dancing and sneaking around, but behind him. Lehman will check the runner. Now comes home. 2-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. Slater's on the run, and that one will get down against the wall. That will score a run. Montgomery digging for second, and that one will be cut off, and he will get in 2 seconds, sliding with a double. There's an RBI double in the first inning here for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. 1-0 your score here from Ray Fisher Stadium. Just 4 batters in. Montgomery picks up his 15th RBI of the year. Now digging in is the number 5 batter, Medashevsky, playing in left field today. Kind of surprised that Slater wasn't able to get over to that ball, but it did end up bouncing off the wall. And now Montgomery will take his lead off second base. Medashevsky is standing in the right-handed batter's box. Delivery from Lehman. That one's a high chopper to third base, and that will go foul. Mazes will field that one, flip over to his pitcher, and everyone will get reset for the 0-1 pitch. Medashevsky hitting just a hair under 300 in the air at 295. Also, 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 home runs. 0-1 pitch. Misses low and outside. 1-1. Lehman gets the signs from Cronenworth, who's playing second base today. Montgomery will take his lead off second. Medashevsky standing in that right-handed batter's box, waiting for the 1-1 pitch. Lehman delivers. That one's low. Tried to get the off-speed pitch in there. Lehman looking into Lugbauer for the sign. Montgomery takes his lead off second base. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Eagles lead 1-0. Lehman delivers. Breaking ball hung up high, but that one also got outside. And Medashevsky was not tempted. Count goes to 3-1. 3 straight balls from Lehman after getting ahead 0-1. Big pitch here, trying to limit any further damage in this first inning. Wolverines trying to get back in the win column after their loss at Comerica Park last night. 3-1 pitch. That one's inside, and he walked him. Fastball can't find its spot. And now runners at first and second for the Eagles. Their two-out rally continues. That will bring up Tony DeLeo coming up, the catcher today for the Eagles. He will dig into that right-handed batter's box. DeLeo's got a bit of a catcher's body, 5'11", 210 out of Rockford, Michigan, a noted high school sports program on the west side of the state of Michigan. Two outs here on top of the first. Eagles lead 1-0. They're still threatening runners on first and second. Lehman checks the runner once, twice, now comes home. Fastball misses low and outside, 1-0. Lehman's thrown 5 straight balls after getting ahead of Metashevsky, 0-1. Michigan's infield left to right. Mazes, Bivens, Cronenworth, and Jusic. Outfield, Benedetti in left, Bruder in center, and Slater in right. Lugbauer behind the plate today. 1-0 pitch. Checked his swing. 2-0. That's 6 straight balls from Lehman. Not picking his spots early here today. Some signs of encouragement from the few Eagles fans here in attendance just 6 miles down the road from their campus in Ypsilanti. DeLeo waiting for that 2-0 pitch. Here it comes. Fastball just misses outside. 3-0. Lehman will go over the signs with Cronenworth, and now we'll get a mound visit from pitching coach Sean Kenny. The whole infield will convene at the mound. And the current batter, DeLeo, will go down and have a word with his third base coach. That's Spencer Schmitz, the assistant coach in his first season for the Eagles. To update the scene here, we are in the top of the first inning at Ray Fisher Stadium. Eastern Michigan Eagles already have a 1-0 lead over the Michigan Wolverines. Now they have runners at first and second and a 3-0 count on the catcher, DeLeo. Still threatening here with a 2-out rally. Peterson opened the inning with a groundout before Rubino singled. Then McGeehan flied out to right center field before Rubino stole second and Montgomery doubled them home. Now Montgomery standing on second before Metashevsky was walked, and now perhaps a second straight walk coming from Keith Lehman as he currently trails DeLeo 3-0. Comes set, delivers home. That one misses. And 8 straight balls is a second consecutive walk for Keith Lehman. Bases loaded, 2 outs. High leverage situation here for the Wolverines. They'll bring up Austin Wilson, the junior designated hitter today. Hitting only .234 in the year, but he has played in most of the Eagles games, starting 30 of them. 4 doubles on the year, 1 triple, 1 home run. Looking to add to this already 1-run Eagles lead. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. That's right where Slater is. He'll take a few steps in, make the catch, and Lehman able to get out of the jam with no further trouble. That being said, the Eagles do take a 1-0 lead. We head to the bottom of the first. Eastern Michigan Eagles 1, your Michigan Wolverines 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And we will flip things over to the Michigan offensive lineup. Jacob Cronenworth will be the first batter coming up for the Wolverines. Also had a solid performance yesterday in the battle at Comerica. He had very solid swings all game long in that ultimate 4-2 loss for the Wolverines. Cronenworth 2 for 4 on the day, scored one of the Wolverines' 2 runs. Raised his average up to .315 on the year. He had been struggling a little bit. He had it up in the 320s, fell below .310 going into yesterday's game before getting it right back up. The starter on the mound for the Eagles will be Kyle Huckabee, the freshman lefty, 3-1 on the year so far with a ERA just a smidge over 3 at .304. He started 4 games, also appeared in 6 relief outings. 26 and 2/3 inning pitch, 28 hits, 15 runs, only 9 of those earned. He has not been helped out by his feelers. He'll be looking for more support behind him today. 9 walks, only 7 strikeouts for Huckabee. So Wolverines will look to put the ball in play here. Opponents hitting .262 against Huckabee, but he's been rounding into form a little bit. Had a A little bit of a rough start to the year, but he's been really getting it together here for the Eastern Michigan Eagles squad. Cronenworth, the leadoff hitter, to be followed by Bivens and Mazes. Mazes, arguably the best offensive hitter yesterday for the Wolverines, knocked in their only 2 RBIs and for their only 2 runs of the game with a big double in the top of the 5th inning. But first up is Jacob Cronenworth. He'll dig in that left-handed batter's box and get ready to face the young left-hander. Kyle Huckabee, the freshman from Chandler, Arizona, very skinny, 5'10", 170 pounds, looking to add more weight to that frame as he progresses through his college career. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball misses low and outside, 1-0. Jake Bivens standing on deck. Third baseman McGeehan a few steps onto the infield grass, wary of a possible bunt. Next pitch poured in there for a strike. Fastball right at the knees, going over the heart of the plate. Infield plays Cronenworth to pull. Here's the 1-1. Swinging, tipped off right into the glove of catcher DeLeo. And now they will shift the Eagles outfield just a little bit. They were playing Cronenworth to pull, now with 2 strikes perhaps, playing for all fields, and they'll go to average depth and pretty much straight up on Cronenworth. 1-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to center field. That's where Devaney is. He'll take a few steps back and make the catch. And an easy can of corn there for the center fielder, Devaney. That will bring up Jake Bivens, looking for a little bit of offensive redemption after his defensive miscue. It was ruled a hit, but I would have argued that it was an error on Rubino's grounder. It was a difficult play, deep short, but nonetheless ruled a hit, and Rubino ended up coming around to score to give the Eagles an early 1-0 lead. Here's the first pitch from Huckabee. That one misses outside. Late call there from home plate umpire Robert Lothian. He's already fooled me twice today as he's really taken a long pause before going up with that right hand. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's line drive to short, and he'll be snagged by Lett. Shortstop makes a good play on the ball there. Sinking line drive, but able to take just one shuffle to his right, make the catch. 2 up, 2 down for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the first. They trail 1-0 on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. That will bring up number 9, Travis Mazes. As I mentioned, 2 for 4 yesterday with the only 2 RBIs of the game for the Wolverines. He'll dig in that left-handed batter's box. Much like many of the Wolverines' lefty-heavy lineup, 7 of 9 batters here today against the lefty Kyle Huckabee. Here's Huckabee's delivery. Strike on the outside corner. Got the fastball in there for the 0-1 count. Infield overshifted on Travis Mazes. And he'll go. Now Mazes will step out of the batter's box and go have a few words with Eric Bakich of how to approach this. I believe they've left McGeehan over on the left side of the infield. He's the normal third baseman. He's standing right where he normally would be, right in the edge of the infield grass, where we have a potential bunt. Meanwhile, Lett is playing, if he was the second baseman, stated up the middle. Instead, he's actually the shortstop, but he's standing just a few steps to the right of second base. Meanwhile, Rubino is right in the hole between where the normal first and second baseman would be, and Montgomery's in average position at first base. Takes that one. Now the count is even at 1-1. Waiting for the delivery from Huckabee. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's chop right down the first base line, and the play will be an unassisted fair ball. I believe Mazes thought that one was a foul ball off the plate or off his foot. But nonetheless, it will be counted as a putout, and that will do it for the Wolverines. We head to the top of the second. Eagles lead 1-0 here on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman here, bringing you Michigan baseball. And Lehman, after a little bit of a rough first inning, will return to the mound, trying to get back into form, was really missing his spots. He threw at one point 8 straight balls, walking 2 straight batters before getting a flyout. He was bailed out a little bit by Austin Wilson. and able to get out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam.
Yeah, Lehman primarily out of the starting role so far this year. Last year, he was more of a bullpen pitcher in his freshman season, did a nice job out of the bullpen in that season, and now getting those appearances on the mound and attempting to show that he has what it takes to stick with it and maybe earn a spot into the weekend lineup later on. Looks like Jace Van Senna is going to come into the game now, so Lehman's day is done.
Kind of surprising that the quick hook by Eric Bakich, he did not like what he saw out of Keith Lehman, and that will be it for him after just 1 inning pitch, 1 earned run. Jace Vencina will now come in to pitch for the Wolverines. Very surprising move here. The freshman right-hander out of Millbury, Ohio, 6'5", 225 pounds. We last saw him in that weekend series against Penn State, pitched 1 2/3 inning in that Sunday game. Gave up 2 hits, but no runs, was able to record 2 strikeouts. He also pitched in the earlier matchup between these two squads, pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned. And also walking 3 batters, so struggling with his control, much like Keith Lehman did in this first inning. Eli, what do you make of this move to pull the start after just 1 inning?
Well, it is a midweek matchup, so, not trying to work guys too much, try and get maybe some spread amongst your pitchers, get everybody a chance to get their arms stretched out, get some game action. Lehman hasn't pitched since last weekend, and so they're going to try and stretch his arm out a little bit for this coming weekend, the home series when Big Ten play continues. You just need to keep guys fresh. He had a decent outing this past weekend. Look to work on the momentum, especially as a freshman. Keep the confidence up, keep the arm loosened up. Don't want to get it too tightened out because otherwise it would have been a full week in between appearances for him.
Now Devaney will step in. He'll take the first pitch inside. 1-0. Luke Devaney, the center fielder for the Eagles here today, hitting 176 on the year. 1-0 pitch. That one's fouled off into the first base side, right into the outdoor track and field where the Wolverines student athletes are hard at work practicing. That evens the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, 2-1. Vancina standing on the mound. Takes a long look in. Now here's the 2-1 delivery. That one's ripped right at the second baseman, Cronenworth. He'll make the play on the line drive. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the second inning. Eagles lead 1-0.
Nice pitching there by Vancina in the early going. Coming out of the bullpen, just getting settled in, get the first guy. That's always the most important thing. Throw strikes and get the first guy so that you don't find yourself behind with a runner on trying to get settled into the game.
Now the number 9 hitter will dig in the right-handed batter's box. He will ground it short to Bivens. Bivens will feel on a couple of skips, throw it over to first, and Jusic will make a little bit of a dig there for the second out. 1 pitch swinging. That was David Lett. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the second. That will turn the lineup over for Jordan Peterson.
David Lett isn't a guy that was going to give you too much trouble at the plate. A 163 hitter on the season. However, we saw last week that he is one of the best shortstops Michigan has faced this year. Able to field a lot, has a big range, able to get on the ground when he needs to, and also, given the fact that it was wet last week, doing a nice job over at short.
And Peterson will take the first pitch for a strike right at the knees on the inside black of the plate. He didn't like that call. He had a few words with Robert Lothian as he stepped out. Now he'll dig back into that righty batter's box. 0-1 pitch. Squares to bunt, but pulls it back, and that one misses outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Rubino standing on the on-deck circle. He scored the Eagles' only run of this game. Had their first hit of the game as well. Vancina gets the sign, shrugs his shoulders. Now delivers 1-1. Here's a bunt right back at the pitcher. Vancina will field it, throw it to first base, and they'll get him by a step. Not the best piece of fielding there by Vancina, but able to get the job done on a even worse bunt there by Jordan Peterson, the leadoff batter. And that will do it for the top of the second. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning in just a moment as the Wolverines trail 1-0 versus the Eastern Michigan Eagles on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, it looked like Vancina thought the ball was going to go a little bit higher off the bat and tried to field it off one hop. It ended up dropping a little bit too far in front of him, had to field it on two, and by that time, the runner was way up the line, had to rush the throw, nearly threw it away from Jusic, but Jusic, the sure-handed first baseman, made that catch and threw it in.
And meanwhile, for the Eagles, Huckabee had an easy first inning going 1-2-3, and he'll return back to the mound, looking to face off against the Wolverines' 4, 5, 6 hitters, Benedetti, Bruder, Slater today. What do you look for the Wolverines to do against a pitcher that's not really a strikeout pitcher? He pitches to contact. What do you expect them to do to try and get some offense going here?
Well, they've had success these past couple of weeks just, working on the contact pitchers and hitting the ball into the outfield. That's what they got to continue to do today. See a lot of pitches is really the best you can do, because if he's going to be throwing strikes, if he ends up being too dirty for them to handle, seeing more pitches and forcing him to throw some balls to try and go out of the strike zone, try and get them to chase and work the walks is the way to get him to go deep and then make a few mistakes here and there. And then when he makes those mistakes, jump on it. If he's in the strike zone, they just got to go right after him, try and hit the ball in the outfield, try and string together hits, which they've had no trouble doing at times this season.
Benedetti waiting for the first pitch, checked his swing, and appeal down to third base. The rule, he did not go around, so that will be a ball, 1-0. Benedetti takes his few practice cuts. Now he's ready for the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. Change up over the outside corner for a strike. McGeehan, Rubino, Montgomery, left to right, your infielders for the Eagles here today. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled off down the left field line. They'll get well out of play. Count goes to 1-2 on Benedetti. Benedetti hitting .351 in the year. On base percentage .389, slugging .542. He's looking to add to his solid performance from last night, 2 for 4. Breaking ball is popped in the air down the third base line. That will stay in play, and that's where McGeehan will make the catch. Foul pop out for Benedetti, shaking his head as he rounds the bases and will head back to the dugout. That will bring up Cody Bruder. Bruder looking to bounce back from an 0 for 4 day yesterday at Comerica Park. He'll dig in that right-handed batter's box.
Cody Bruder had a big day last week against the Eagles, went 5 for 6, 2 doubles, 2 triples.
Takes the first pitch outside, 1-0.
Also had a litany of RBIs in that game. Wolverines won that game 18-4 against the Eagles, looking to replicate that again this week.
1-0 pitch misses outside. Perhaps the Eagles are well aware of the facts you just stated, Eli, and pitching around him.
Also just saw the left and center fielder shift well over towards their right, towards the left field line.
2-0 pitch. That's lifted high in the air to center field. Devaney's going back, but he is underneath it, and he will make the catch about 5 to 10 steps in front of the warning track. So Bruder gave it a ride, but not quite enough to really trouble the center field Devaney, and that's 2 up, 2 down here in the second inning for the Wolverines.
And Bruder, just real quick on his stat line, 3rd in the Big Ten in hits with 46, also 5th in RBIs with 30, that behind Carmen Benedetti, who hit right before him. Carmen Benedetti leads the Big Ten, 37 RBIs in the season. So again, this Big Ten, this offense is one of the best in the Big Ten. They can pile on hits and then subsequently runs when they want to.
First pitch, strike right at the letters. High fastball goes in 0-1. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's a check swing foul ball. It goes off the glove of DeLeo. And quickly 0-2 on Johnny Slater. Slater also got the start yesterday in right field. He's been splitting time with Kevin White out there. We had a very busy day as there was a lot of room to patrol in that spacious Comerica Park outfield. And a third pitch swinging, breaking ball, got him. Wolverines go 1-2-3 for the second straight inning. We head to the top of the third inning. Eastern Michigan Eagles lead the Michigan Wolverines 1-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
and Johnny got an earful from Coach Bakich as he got that back to the dugout there. Bakich didn't like that swing at all. It was off balance, reaching for a pitch that clearly wasn't in the strike zone, and you can't help but agree with the coach. Looking for on a 1-2 pitch, looking for maybe something a little bit closer to the zone. You're supposed to open up the pitches that you're looking for, but that was almost too far out there to be worth swinging at. Slater has seen more time recently, though. I imagine that's in large part to the 2 3-run home runs he had last week here against the Eagles. Part of that, my math is escaping me, 14-run victory against the Eagles. Vancina back on the mound here in the top of the third.
Yeah, he only threw 8 pitches in that 1 inning of work. And how long do you think we'll see Vancina on the mound today?
Well, I can't imagine it'll be too long, maybe 2, 3, at the extent of it, 4 innings of work. He's not going to be here for, the duration. But, again, just trying to get some work for the freshman. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the other freshmen come out and pitch today. Maybe we'll see Oliver Jaski on the mound. He seems to get a lot of attention in these midweek games.
Yeah, we didn't see Jaski yesterday. I was kind of looking for him. Benedetti, Ogden, and Paul came in relief of Hill yesterday. So maybe we might not see any of those arms today, but still plenty of options in the bullpen for the Wolverines as we get the top of the third underway. John Rubino, who owns 1 of 2 hits and the only run scored for the Eagles, he'll step in. Here's the first pitch. Strike on the inside corner. It's been a very generous strike zone to both sides, as we've already seen 2 pitchers for the Wolverines by home plate umpire Robert Lothian. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball misses low and outside, evens the count at 1-1. Mays is standing just about a step behind the edge of the infield grass, or should I say turf, all turf field here at Ray Fisher Stadium. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses way outside. He hung that one. He's lucky that one got as far outside as it did. Count 2-1 on Rubino. The small second baseman for the Eagles waits for the 2-1. Here it is, and he singles that right back up the middle. That one will get down. Bruder will come over and field it. Tries to get over at first. Big turn there by Rubino, and Bruder tried to ring him up, but no such luck. Kind of a wild throw. Once again, a nifty piece of glove work by Kyle Jusick to hold on to that one and prevent that one from getting away and allowing Rubino to reach second base.
Yeah, Cody Bruder's eyes were bigger than his stomach. Eyes was bigger than his stomach.
He wasn't eating, Eli.
It's the expression. Trying to go after that runner. The aggressiveness is something that is favorable, but in that situation, the guy standing on first base, not really the risk that you'd want to take, even given the fact that this is an opponent that is not doesn't matter as much in the win column, with it being a non-conference opponent.
And first pitch misses low and inside to Mitch McGeehan. He flew out to Bruder in center field his first time up. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. 2-0. Wolverines also have to keep an eye on Rubino. He's already stolen 1 base so far today. That was his 16th steal on only 19 attempts this year. He's been very effective on the base pass this year. What can the Wolverines do to slow him down?
Well, it comes down to the battery. We see Drew Lugbauer going out there to have a conversation with Jace. And, it's about Jace's ability to get that slide step in there, keep the runner as close as possible for as long as possible. And then Lugbauer really has to flash his stuff. He's a high-touted recruit. He's got to show that he can also do it behind the plate, especially given the fact that he hasn't done it too well at the plate as a hitter so far this season.
And a pick-up attempt there, but Rubino is easily back in with a head-first slide. McGeehan waiting for the 2-0. Here it comes. Just misses. Fastball high and a little bit outside. 3-0 on McGeehan.
I'm a little confused by that one. Look good from here.
Yeah, especially given Lothian's generous strike zone so far to both sides. Interesting call. Here's the 3-0. That one's in there for a strike. Fastball right at the knees in the inside corner.
Could have been little bit of makeup call. That one looked on the inside, maybe a little bit low.
Well, that's where he's been calling them all day, though. Here's the 3-1 pitch. McGeehan waving that orange bat over his right shoulder, and we'll get another throw over to first. Rubino once again easily back in there. Well ahead of Jusic's tag on his back. McGeehan waiting. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Rubino's on the move. Throw it on to second base, and it was not in time. Rubino overslid the bag a little bit. 2 attempted tags there by Cronenworth, but none will do. We'll see that one get in there for a strike as McGeehan was taking all the way. Got the steal signal, but now a runner on second base with nobody out here in the top of the third for the Eagles.
Eagles playing good small ball here early, trying to get another run on the board.
Already 2 steals for Rubino. That steals 16-17 on the year. 3-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. Slater tracking it, going back onto the track, and he will make the catch. Rubino tagging up, headed to third, throwing to Cronenworth, and Rubino will make it easily. So with 1 out, Rubino moves up to third on the flyout. But good job to retire Mitch McGeehan after falling behind 3-0.
And now Montgomery, who had the RBI back in the first inning, is going to have a chance to get that run in if he's able to just lift one up to right field, get an inside pitch and hit one high enough in the air. It should be good for Rubino to score on the sack.
Yeah, Montgomery did hit the double off the wall, the right field wall. Slater is playing curiously shallow on the big bopper for the Eagles. He'll foul that one back into the screen. Eli was ready for that one. Doesn't have his glove here today, but
I don't need a glove. Infield playing in on the grass, though, looking to cut down the run if it's a weak shot from Montgomery.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air. That one's golfed right into the parking lot down the first base line. That will deflect off a car and count quickly 0-2 on John Montgomery. Big batter here for Jace Vancina. He gave it the leadoff single. Rubino stole second, now stands on third after that, moving up on that flyout. Count 0-2 on John Montgomery. Responsible for the only run of the game. 0-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. Going back. Slater is there, and that one is off the wall. The run will score. Rubino will easily cruise. Digging for third is Montgomery. Throw to third base, and is way offline. A RBI triple for John Montgomery. His second RBI of the day gives the Eagles a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third.
And that's just a nice piece of hitting. Like I said, got the inside pitch, pulled it down the line, and even if it hadn't been great contact, it would have been long enough for Rubino to score from third. And instead, kept his eye on the ball, really tagged that one over the head of Slater and right, and now puts himself in position to score if Matashevsky is able to put this one in play.
Matashevsky will step out, run through the signs with his third base coach. As Eli mentioned, the infield is in. Montgomery standing on third base. Eagles still threatening with only 1 out. And we'll have a little bit of a discussion here between the home plate umpire, Robert Lothian, and Coach Eric Bakich. Oh, there's something going on in the center field.
Looks like a tarp or something. Might have blown over from somewhere. Not really clear. Wasn't here to see it go over, but.
And Eric Jacobson will make the long trot out of the dugout. He's getting the day off. The center fielder, Cody Bruder, will hand it off to Carmen Benedetti, the left fielder, and now hand it off to Jacobson. So good piece of assembly line work there for the Wolverines, handing it off. Good show of teamwork. Jacobson will trot off the field, and we're just about ready to get back underway here. Jacobson will take that into the bullpen. And now Matashevsky will dig back in for the Eagles. Still threatening here, and now we'll see a call to the bullpen here. Eric Bakich with a very quick hook so far. That will likely do it for Jace Vancina. New pitcher coming in for the Wolverines.
Donnie Eaton.
Eli, what are you looking for out of Donnie Eaton in this appearance? Already the third Wolverines pitcher so far today in just the third inning.
Well, I think that answer is obvious. He's got to come in here and shut this down. John Montgomery just tagged up Jace Vancina for an RBI triple, his second extra base hit of the day, his second RBI of the day. Wolverines are trailing 2-0 in the top of the third, and you got to shut things down as quickly as possible and try and get the momentum back in your favor, because right now with a runner on third, one out in the top of the third, Eagles are threatening to get a little bit of breathing room and get one back on the season series here.
And Donnie Eden was really hit hard his last time out. That was in that Friday game when the Wolverines got walloped by the Nittany Lions in Happy Valley. Didn't even record an out. Gave up 4 runs, 2 of those earned. That was when the Wolverines got really beat badly in that first game, but they bounced back well, able to take the last 2 games of that series, take the season series from Penn State. But Eden looking to bounce back. He's sitting at 2-0 on the year, 5.56 ERA, really trying to knock that down. Gives up 1 3/4 walks and hits per every inning pitched. Yeah, known as one of harder throwers. What can we expect to see out of him here today?
He's got to work low in the zone, try and get back the confidence he lost last Friday. Just work at the knees, try and get ground balls, especially here to start off with Montgomery standing on third base. Matuszewski, a 295 hitter at the plate. Try and force Matuszewski to hit something on the ground so that the infield can either go home with it and try and get the runner out, or if the runner isn't going, go to first base and get that out, and then they'll be able to play a little bit more relaxed in the infield, play at a conventional depth. But again, work low in the zone, force a ground ball early, and just find the zone. Throw strikes. Best pitch right now is going to be strike 1, and then strike 2 and strike 3 from there.
And now Matuszewski will get ready to dig into that right-handed batter's box. He's got a white bat with orange tip on either ends. Interesting accents from the Eagles bats here today. We saw Montgomery with that orange bat. Donnie Eden getting ready to deliver home. Montgomery standing on third base. Only 1 out here in the top of the third. Eagles lead 2-0. Here's the first pitch. That one's fouled off right into the screen. 0-1, and as you mentioned, crucial for Eden to get ahead in the count, and that's what he did there. 0-1 Matuszewski, who will take a little time to regroup. Now digs back in. Montgomery takes a short lead off third base. 0-1 pitch. Low and outside. Good backhanded stop by Lugbauer to keep Montgomery right where he is at third base.
You're absolutely right. That saved a run right there. Quick cat-like reflexes from the freshman catcher.
Eden taking a long look in. Now he comes set. Delivers home. That one's ripped right at the third baseman. Matus will look Montgomery back to third base. Toss over to first base. Big out there for the Wolverines. Juicy closes the glove on it and gets Matuszewski by about 4 or 5 steps. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Wolverines trying to get out of a jam.
And as expected, the infield going to move back to a more regular depth. Mays is way deep at third at the moment. Over at second, Cronenworth is actually on the outfield grass. And so with DeLeo at the plate, they're going to have more relaxed time trying to get him.
First pitch, DeLeo is fouled off down the first base line. That will bounce off the front mesh covering of the Eagles dugout. 0-1, and now Lugbauer will trot out to the mound for a quick visit with his Ann Arbor native righty, 6'4", 200 pounds. The senior, Donnie Eden, looking to get out of this jam. DeLeo will take a few practice cuts across home plate. Now get ready. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big cut there on the fastball. Now 0-2.
That was a dirty pitch. Cut right across the zone. DeLeo really had no chance at it.
Now Donnie Eden will be able to perhaps pull the string a little bit. Give a few trick pitches as tries to get him swinging something out of the zone. 0-2 pitch. That one misses well outside. Kind of goes to 1-2.
That was a chase pitch. DeLeo saw it coming the whole way.
Wolverines playing DeLeo the opposite way in the outfield. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled back, and that will hit off the front of the press box, but nowhere near us. We were ready once again, always prepared for a foul ball.
We'll catch a ball one of these days.
That's what I'm really hoping for. I've been doing these games for a while, and I don't think WCBN's ever gotten a souvenir.
Oh, eventually we will. It's it's part of putting your work in and then eventually getting
1-2 pitch.
Payment.
Ground to short. Bivens will feel on a couple hops, throw to first, and they'll get DeLeo easily. And the Wolverines are able to get out of the jam, but not before allowing a RBI triple by Montgomery. He's driven in both of the Eagles' runs so far this game, and they lead 2-0. We head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman. A beautiful day for baseball. Perfectly sunny. Barely any clouds in the sky. Just about maybe 300 fans in attendance. That might be a little excessive. But we urge you to come out and enjoy these games. Beautiful Ray Fisher Stadium. There'll be a weekend series coming up against the Purdue Boilermakers. Wolverines really looking to add some wins, perhaps a series sweep of the Boilermakers to sit in last place in the Big Ten, 1-8. Well, WCBN will have the coverage of that series as well as the softball games just across the way here at the Wilpon Complex at Alumni Field. Those are both triple headers, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Be sure to tune in.
Wolverines women, top 5 team in the country right now. They've been playing some really good softball, looking for, their 10th, 15th, something high up there. Big Ten championship in a row. They, under Coach Hutchinson's tenure, have been just absolutely dominant in the Big Ten. It's a fun team to watch.
And the Wolverines have gone quickly so far on the offensive side. No hits so far for the Wolverines, and it'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Jusic, Jemet, Lugbauer. You mentioned the Wolverines just need to take what Huckabee gives them, but he's not giving them much so far. Really made Johnny Slater look silly on the strikeout to end last inning. Jusic will dig in that lefty batter's box, hitting .258 on the year. Kyle Jusic 0 for 3 yesterday at Comerica Park. Did draw 1 walk. Here's the first pitch. Fastball hits the outside corner for a strike.
Nice cut from Huckabee. That one started on the outside corner, and by the time the catcher caught it, it was out of the zone, but he got the call from the umpire on the strength of the frame.
0-1 pitch. Same spot, same pitch. Quickly 0-2. Eagles overshifted on the lefty Jusic. 3 infielders on the right side. Only the third baseman McGeehan remaining on the left.
This is the time to lay down a bunt.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one misses outside in the dirt. 1-2. Or should I say turf? It is just the turf colored, or the dirt colored turf. And as you mentioned, McGeehan all alone right at where the normal shortstop would be. Plenty of room for a potential bunt, but 2 strikes, so unlikely. And 1-2 pitch misses low and outside, 2-2. Jusic showing a good eye here after falling behind 0-2.
Anything to the third base line would be trouble for the Eagles.
2-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. Peterson tracking it, and he will make the catch just a few steps in front of the warning track. So Juicy gave it a bit of a ride, but Peterson was ready for that one. Only had to drift a little bit back to his right, able to make the catch. And that's 7 up, 7 down for Kyle Huckabee so far.
Yeah, the wind is blowing out there, though, so surprising that Jusic didn't get too much help. The flags out on the roof of Alumni Field are at full attention, blowing out towards right field here at Ray Fisher, in towards home plate at Alumni Field.
First pitch to Jemet is fouled off down the first base line into the parking lot. 0-1 on Jemet, who is getting his first start of the season. He's played in 9 games, but this is his first start. Only 7 at-bats on the year. He's 2 for 7 on the year. Also has drawn 1 walk. Now Huckabee will call for time. DeLeo comes out of his stance, resets, and we are ready to get back underway here. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Really had Jemet off balance there. He just really did not look like he was ready for that one at all.
Nasty changeup. Jemet was way out in front of that one, and as it dropped underneath his bat, he was left huffing and puffing, to say the least.
0-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt. 1-2.
Good stop by DeLeo.
And you got to give Huckabee some credit. He's really attacked these Wolverines hitters. Tons of first pitch strikes so far today. Getting ahead a lot of 2-strike counts early on. Huckabee waits for the extra beat. Now delivers the 1-2. That one draws the catcher delay out of his crouch. High and outside, and after starting 0-2, count now even at 2-2. Jemet takes his left foot out of the batter's box. Now gets ready to go. Lugbauer standing on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And he got him. Ring him up. Looking. Strike 3 called. That's the second strikeout of the day for Kyle Huckabee. And now stepping to the left-hander batter's box, Drew Lugbauer, the number 9 hitter for the Wolverines.
That's an at-bat that Jemet is going to regret. He's going to have to go and look at the game tape on that one and try and figure a few things out because, was swinging out of his shoes on a few of those change-ups and then just caught looking on a pitch that was really good out of the hand of Kyle Huckabee.
First pitch pops out of the glove of DeLeo, and that one missed high for a ball. So a rare first pitch ball from the young lefty here. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball gets him. What a pitch.
That was dirty. That had about 10 inches of drop, 12-6. Looked like he was at the letters of Lugbauer halfway between the mound and the plate, ended up at his knees.
1-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Gary Wagenschultz says that he did not go around. That makes the count 2-1 on Lugbauer.
Gary Wagenschultz, my second favorite umpire name here in the Big Ten.
Who's number 1?
Obviously, Sal Giacomontonio.
We haven't seen much of Sal this year.
No, it hasn't been around Ray Fisher yet.
2-1 pitch in the dirt. 3-1. Lugbauer will step out, perhaps have a few words with his bat as he's staring right at it. Now he's getting ready to go to face the 3-1. Good hitters count here for Lugbauer. 3-1 pitch. That one misses outside. Lugbauer will flip the bat, trot down to first base, and he's the first base runner of the day for the Wolverines. They trail 2-0 in the bottom of the third, 2 outs.
So the Wolverines break up the perfect game on that walk, but perhaps Cronenworth can break up the no-hitter right here. Top of the lineup, it's going to be the second time that Huckabee is facing the lineup, so hitters will have a little bit better idea of what's coming at them, know what to expect.
Yeah, Eli, I'm not sure if the jinx works if you're doing it for the other team to try and break up the no-hitter, but we'll see. We'll see your strategy.
Just trying to be a good broadcaster, share the story with the fans.
And the first pitch will miss low and outside. DeLeo had to pop out to make sure that Lugbauer did not advance. Lugbauer, not much of a base stealing threat, although he is 1 for 1 on the year. I believe that one was as part of a double steal as he was the runner on first. Next pitch just misses. That looked like a good one. 2-0 here on Jacob Cronenworth.
And all of a sudden, 6 of the last 7 pitches have been balls out of the hand of Huckabee.
Still looks like he's got some pretty sharp stuff. We were just talking about how sharp that breaking ball looked. But he's not hitting his spots recently. Delivers home 2-0. That one's lifted high in the air to center field. Devaney tracking back. And he will make the catch a few steps in front of the warning track. So the Wolverines have launched a few fly balls off Huckabee, but no hits so far. They trail 2-0 as we head to the top of the 4th. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And we will head to the top of the 4th. We're curious to see if Donnie Eaton returns for extended work. Also, the Wolverines have a few more pitchers headed to the bullpen, perhaps getting ready. Also warming up for the Eastern Michigan Eagles is Augie Gallardo. I saw him head down there out of the dugout right before that last inning ended.
We were actually informed last week it is Gallardo, not like the Major League pitching counterpart Giovanni. In any case, Donnie Eaton is back on the mound for the Wolverines as the stretch crew is out in left center field enjoying the sunshine. Nearly a cloudless day here in Ann Arbor. Flag at half-mast out in center field in honor of Abe Lincoln, the 150th anniversary of his death today, April 15th.
Didn't know that one. Thanks for the fun fact, Eli.
History buff and baseball broadcaster. I'm a man of many talents.
And now Austin Wilson, who's the DH today for the Eagles, hitting .232 on the year. 0 for 1, flew out to right field his first time up. He was the one that, when the bases were loaded with 2 outs in that jam for Keith Lehman, just flew out to right field. Johnny Slater and the Wolverines were lucky to escape. They're lucky they're not trailing by more than 2 here. They've gotten out a few jams so far here today.
Yeah, it's going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters here for Eden in his first full inning. So look for him to continue to try and get settled in. He got out of the jam there in the top of the third, able to strand Montgomery at third base with a clutch ground ball pitch over to Mazes at third.
Wilson will dig in. Devaney and Lett will follow. Mazes standing right on the border of the infield grass and dirt, worry of a possible bunt. First pitch does show bunt, pulls it back, but it is a strike nonetheless. And it goes to 0-1 on Austin Wilson.
You know you threw a good pitch when you force the guy to pull back, but it gets called for a strike anyways.
0-1 pitch. Scrapes a bunt again, and once again a strike.
Couldn't hold up that time.
Perfectly placing his spots, Donnie Eaton, hitting him low and outside. Not much that Wilson can do with those. And it's quickly 0-2. Here's the delivery. That one misses a little bit further lower and outside. And that one will not be called a strike by Lothian. 1-2 now here on Austin Wilson. Mazes will retreat with 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. He got him! Strikeout looking. First strikeout of the day for Donnie Eaton. And Wilson is easily dispatched.
Yeah, Wilson not too happy with himself as he goes to the plate, or goes to the dugout, after that plate appearance. Tried to bunt on 2 of them and just didn't look good. Pulled back on 1, got called for a strike, and then didn't know what he was looking for. Got a fastball right at the knees and couldn't pull the trigger.
Luke Devaney fouls it off down the first base line. A little bit of a mishandle there by the Eagles coach. First base coach Jordan Kerr, the volunteer coach for the Eagles. So Johnny Slater has to go over, field that one, and get it out of play before we can continue here. Devaney waiting for the 0-1 pitch. Here's the delivery from Eden. That one's low and inside. Aiming right for the feet of Devaney. Devaney did have a nice bit of contact his first time up and hit it right at Cronenworth, able to make the out on the sinking line drive. 1-1 pitch. That one's a little bit too far low. Now 2-1.
Devaney just 18 at-bats on the season, so not getting too many appearances here.
Fastball right on the inside corner. Nice pitch there by Donnie Eden.
As we move towards the middle, towards almost later half of the season.
Here's the windup and delivery. 2-2 pitch. That one's singled right back up the middle. A little flare hit right up the middle of the infield. There's a 1-out single for Luke Devaney.
You know, given the fact that the Wolverines, and I'm sure the Eagles too, spend the first several weeks of their season on the road, this is only about the 3rd or 4th week that the Wolverines have been playing at home. And it seems like the season is basically just started, but in reality, it's nearing its end. Wolverines more than halfway done with the Big Ten slate already.
And just to get you caught up to how things stand, Eagles lead 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. Delivery home, runner was in motion, and that one's a bloop over the head of the pitcher. But a good play there by Bivens to come over, field the ground ball, and throw it to first. The runner will move up. Devaney was on the move. That one took a really high chop over the head of Eden. He gave all he could, but it went over his head. Bivens was right there and able to beat Lett by maybe about half a step. Good play there at first base. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, with Devaney running on the pitch, there was even if the ball had gone right to Donnie Eden on a lower trajectory, there's really no chance they would have had at him. So ends up being all right. Bivens taking the out at first.
Here's the delivery home. Breaking ball misses high. Devaney standing on second base. He's 1 for 1 on steal attempts in the air. Does have a little bit of speed out He's the usual center, or not the usual center fielder, but he does play center field, and that's where he's at today for the Eagles. 1-0 count to Jordan Peterson, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles. Here it comes. Breaking ball almost nicked him, but he got out of the way. 2-0.
Yeah, it looked like Peterson turned into that one just a little bit at the end, trying to get a little bit of contact. Just a little bit too close to the plate for him to be able to reach out and get that one without making it obvious.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. Breaking ball again. 3 straight breaking balls have missed out of the hand of Donnie Eaton. You think he's perhaps pitching around Jordan Peterson or just not hitting his spots?
Well, throwing 3 curveballs, I think it's more likely that he's trying to throw around Jordan Peterson, not give him anything too much to hit. They do have the base open at first.
3-0 delivery. Fastball poured in there for a strike in the outside corner. Now 3-1. Peterson will step out of that right-hander batter's box. Look down the third base line for the signs from Coach Eric Roof. Donnie Eaton looking in. Taking a long time. Now comes set. Checks the runner at second. Now delivers home. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big cut there. Peterson thought he had one to drive. But that one had some late movement on it. And he gets the swing and miss.
Late movement, early movement. That was 3 feet outside. I'm not sure what he was swinging at, but Donnie Eaton
3 feet might be a little much. That was a little bit off the plate.
Donnie Eaton takes advantage of the swing from Peterson, now with a 3-2 count.
High leverage situation here. Full count, 2 outs, runner standing in scoring position. Eagles looking to add to their 2-0 lead. Checks the runner once, twice. Now a throw over. Cronenworth trying to sneak in behind him, but Devaney was aware. Cronenworth wasn't really covering at all and really had to make a little bit of a trot over before Eaton could make the throw. He dropped the ball nonetheless, so even if Devaney had not been back in time, would not have been an out. And Peterson will step out, get ready to go. Eaton comes set. Here's the full count. That one's ground chopped up to Bivens. Bivens will throw it to first, and he will make the out by tossing it over to Lugbauer, and the Wolverines will get out of another jam here. Eagles lead 2-0, and we head to the bottom of the 4th on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Wolverines still don't have a hit. All zeros across the board. Zeros in all 3 innings. 0 runs, 0 hits, 0 errors. They got to get something going in the mix here against Huckabee in his 4th inning work. Just 1 base runner for the Wolverines. That came last inning as Lugbauer drew a walk. So things are going to have to kind of figure themselves out pretty soon. Otherwise, Huckabee is, going to continue to groove.
And Jake Bivens will be the first batter for the Wolverines. He did make 2 nice defensive plays in that last inning, recorded the last out, and then also made a nice play when Donnie Eaton was unable to get that very high chop. We're having a little bit of confusion of what's going on behind the plate. That's number 9, Brent Madison of the Eagles, just went out to claim a rogue baseball that had somehow escaped. But able to get things all sorted out, and we were about ready to get the bottom of the 4th inning underway. Eli was not amused by that little piece of comedy out of the young
I'll admit, I didn't notice what was going on there. It looked like a ball just slipped behind the plate, and he was picking it up. I don't know if there's much to make of it.
Nonetheless, Jake Bivens will dig into the left-handed batter's box and get ready to go here, looking for the Wolverines' first hit of the day. As we mentioned, the Wolverines trail 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch from Huckabee. That's belted in the hole, and that is through for a hit. And just as we were talking, looking for their first hit, Bivens delivers, and the Wolverines have a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, expect it. You would have had to expect that going to the 2, 3, 4 hitters to start off this inning, and all of them who have seen this pitcher now at least one time, you'd expect that at least one of them would be able to jump on something and hit it with good contact and give the Wolverines a good chance of getting a hit. Now the key is to just string together a few hits. Mays is coming in now 0 for 1 on the day. Try and move the runner around. Maybe the Wolverines could play some small ball down too.
Huckabee delivers home. Pours it right across the heart of the plate for a strike. Looked like Mazes was taken all the way. Bivens standing on first base. He's 5 of 7 on steal attempts in the year. Does have decent speed. Huckabee checks the runner over at first base. And he'll throw over. A very soft lob.
And given that that's his second base run of their day, he hasn't had to throw over there once until just now. And so, kind of a tentative throw.
Here's the second pitch. That one's in the dirt. Evens the count at 1-1.
Sometimes difficult to do there. Also, pitching from the stretch now.
Yeah, maybe that will throw off the young lefty just a little bit. He's been out of his windup almost the entire game. As you mentioned, only one base runner so far. Huckabee looks in, checks the runner, now comes home. 1-1 pitch. That one draws DeLeo out of his stance. 2-1. McGeehan, the third baseman, well off the line and standing right at the edge of that infield grass. Eagles are shading Mazes to pull, as they have with almost all the Wolverines' 7 of 9 lefty batters. Huckabee checks the runner. Now he'll come home with the 2-1. That one's lifted foul down the third base line. That'll touch down in the Wolverines' outdoor bullpen. Evens the count at 2-2. And now with 2 strikes, the Eagles will readjust defensively just a little bit, looking for Mazes to perhaps go the opposite way in a bit of 2-strike hitting. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Wolverines trail 2-0, but they did get a leadoff single from Jake Bivens, and it's where he stands right now. Huckabee delivers home. 2-2 pitch. That one's low and outside. Runs the count full. Bivens will likely be in motion here with a full count. Carmen Benedetti looming on deck for the Wolverines. Huckabee running into his first bit of trouble in his 4 innings of work so far today. He'll toss over to first. Once again, a very slow pickoff move. Hasn't quite developed that yet. Still fairly early in his college baseball career.
Yeah, and also, again, I think it's a matter of not being used to throwing over because he hasn't had to do it so far today. You're throwing.
He'll throw over again.
You're throwing a different distance and at a different speed in towards first base as opposed towards the plate. And so trying to gauge that speed is it's difficult. It's part of the reason that you'll see sometimes when a pitcher is forced to field a ground ball, they'll throw it away from the first baseman.
Payoff pitch. That one misses high and inside. And a walk puts first and second for the Wolverines. Carmen Benedetti, the cleanup hitter, steps to the plate. No outs here. Runners on first and second. And DeLeo will go out to have a brief conference with his young left-hander, Huckabee. Wolverines, perhaps with all those throws over to first, having deja vu back to last night. Alex Troop throwing over and getting him confused with the former Wolverines pitcher. Alex Troop, the pitcher for the Spartans last night in the clash at Comerica, throwing over at least 10-plus times in the first 3 innings against the Wolverines, really slowing the game down, that game that dragged on for quite a long time for such a low-scoring game. And now, once again, we'll see DeLeo come out and have a word. And we possibly will see a pitching change. Gallardo may be ready. He's been warming up for quite some time over there in the bullpen. You guys saw, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys saw Gallardo last week. What do you see from him if he indeed is the one that's called upon here in the bullpen?
Well, he didn't actually pitch. He was in the bullpen at that time warming up to come into the game in the 9th inning and be the last pitcher, but the Eagles ended up going with the same guy in that 9th inning, given the fact that they were down 14 runs. Looks like Huckabee is indeed going to get pulled here. But Gallardo, almost said Gallardo there.
It's tough. It's tough out here.
Gallardo is seemingly a mirror image to Huckabee. Right-hander, short in stature, a little bit stocky, but gets a lot of power out of that small frame, coming in with the high socks. Runs kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say nerdily, but looks a little bit nerdy as he runs in with the ball.
Speak for yourself, Eli. It's kind of like a pot calling the kettle black here.
Hausman, of course, referring to the fact that I am the number one nerd at the WCBN sports department. Gallardo, Augie, his first name, 1-2 record on the season, 32 2/3 innings pitch. Has allowed 37 hits, 23 strikeouts to just 22 walks. So right near that 1-to-1 ratio. He's given up quite a few extra base hits, which doesn't bode well as Mazes comes to the plate. Of his 37 hits, 14 of them have been for extra bases. Benedetti has 12 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs on the season. So power going up against a guy that gives up quite a few of his own. So Benedetti looking to jump on this. Also, Benedetti, a 348 hitter on the season, 538, the astronomical slugging percentage. So if you're Gallardo, what you got to do coming in here is give Benedetti basically nothing to hit, try and work low in the zone, try and get him to make a mistake and hit something on the ground. No outs with runners on first and second. So double play in the cards, perhaps.
And Gallardo coming off of his last appearance was last Sunday against Central Michigan. The Eagles were swept in that series, and Gallardo had an up-and-down outing, 2 hits allowed, 3 walks, but able to escape without giving up a run, partially helped by the 3 strikeouts. So that's kind of what's been the tune of Gallardo's season so far.
We're going to be making that mistake all day.
And now Benedetti will dig in. Runners at first and second, nobody out. First pitch from Gallardo. That one's ripped on a high chop to first base, and that will get through into the outfield. That is Bivens rounding second. He will score. Throw back to second base. And Mazes will get back there in time. He took a big turn to third base, but able to just barely get back in. Peterson thought he had him, but the Wolverines get an RBI single from Benedetti, and they're still in business. Still nobody out. They trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Benedetti comes up huge, just like he's been doing all year. Mazes a little bit suspicious, trying to round third there, and nearly got himself picked off. Rubino fielded the throw there in from the outfield and tried to tag Mazes. Mazes actually kind of took a big hit as Rubino fell on him, but Mazes lucky to get that hand back in there and keep the out count at 0 for this inning.
And now Cody Bruder will dig in, looking to get back and tie this game or even give the Wolverines the lead. Gallardo delivers home. Breaking ball misses low. Montgomery was charging in hard as he looked to be expecting a bunt from Cody Bruder. Do you think Bruder would bunt, or do you expect to see him swing away?
Anything's possible when Coach Bakich is calling the shots down there in the dugout, but given Bruder's hitting acumen, I expect to see him have the green light.
But he does bunt it straight back over the screen. Poor bunt attempt. When you get it all the way over the screen, I don't know if we'll see another attempt after how atrocious that one was.
You know, maybe that's something he did intentionally to try and say, hey, coach, just let me hit. Let me hit, because if you make me bunt, this is what I'm going to do. Gets another sign from the coach. Bakich standing out there with the stopwatch in his hand, trying to time up the pitcher, see if they can get something working for the runners.
Gallardo comes set. He delivers home. Another square to bunt, and that's another bad one. He'll pop it up. And that was a back-to-back terrible bunts by Cody Bruder. Perhaps Cody Bruder, perhaps Coach Bakich should have taken your advice, Eli, and saw after that first terrible bunt that got all the way into the stands. Don't have him bunt again, but he pops it right up to Gallardo, and that's a gift of a first out for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, there are really 2 schools of thought on that, and it seems like statistically, especially in the major leagues, the teams that bunt a lot, it works for them, and the teams that don't bunt a lot, it works for them. And this is a team that bunts a lot, so you say just go with what works. But in a situation like that, it's just evidence as to what can go wrong when you try and play small ball a little bit too much.
And now Johnny Slater will dig in. 0 for 1 in the day. Had that rough swinging strikeout to end the 2nd inning. Digs in that left-handed batter's box. 2 home runs in the year, both in that game last week against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Gallardo checks the runner, now delivers home. Strike in the outside corner. Good fastball there. Evens the count at 1-1. McGeehan just about 1 step behind the infield grass at third base. Outfield playing Slater to pull. Gallardo checks the runner once, twice, now comes home. 1-1 pitch. Hits the corner for a strike. Another late call by Robert Lothian. I've learned his pace. I'm timing him up just like Coach Backett, just timing up Gallardo here. Wolverines trail 2-1. They got runners at first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Already have scored 1 run this inning. They're hungry for more. Gallardo takes a look in. Now delivers home. 1-2 pitch way outside. Right through the heart of the right-hander batter's box. Not where you want to put that one. Evens the count at 2-2.
DeLeo was set up with almost his right shin guard on the corner of the plate, so they were really trying to go away from Slater. Slater now hitting 246 on the season. He was under 200 just last week, so that's kind of a testament to the sheer lack of at-bats he's had.
That one's popped high in the air down the third base line. McGeehan is underneath it, and he will make the catch. So after Wolverines get runners at first and second and draw within 1 run, 2 poor outs after a pop out on the attempted bunt by Bruder, and now a high pop up by Johnny Slater. 2 outs. That will leave it up to Kyle Jusick to try and tie up this game or perhaps bring in a few more runs for the Wolverines.
Yeah, infield fly called on that one. And the Wolverines really just killed their own rally. You know,
it's not done yet, Eli.
Can't say much more other than mistakes and I think it really starts with the failed bunt by Bruder. That's something that, while I don't agree with the call, you got to get the bunt down.
Changeup misses outside. 1-0 on Kyle Jusick. He flew out to right field, gave that ball a ride in the 3rd inning, but Peterson was able to come over and make a rather easy catch, just hung it up a little too high. Waiting for the 1-0. Here it is. That one misses low, 2-0. Mazes on second, Benedetti on first, both itching to come home for the Wolverines. Eagles outfield playing Jusick to pull. Devaney is shaded well to right center field. Peterson way in right field as well. 2-0 pitch. Misses outside, just off the outside corner. 3-0 on Kyle Jusick. Probably will be taking all the way here. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, 3-0, 2 outs. Got to try and extend things a little bit, force Gallardo to put the ball in the zone.
Gallardo takes a long look in. Now he comes set. Delivers home. And that one misses. Jusick will drop the bat and head down to first base. Base is loaded for the Wolverines, bringing up the number 8 hitter, Dominic Jamette, getting his first start. And what a big situation it is for the senior. He hasn't had a lot of playing time this year, but he can really do some damage, tie up this game, or even give the Wolverines the lead. Mays is standing on third, Benedetti on second, Jusick at first.
Yeah, Jamette, one of the bigger players on this team, is if he's able to get one grooved inside from Gallardo, we could see a round tripper.
First pitch, breaking ball, misses outside. That one had some good movement on it, but just didn't hit the spot in the strike zone. 1-0.
Getting out ahead in a bases loaded situation is huge. Just makes it that much more likely that you're going to get your pitch to hit.
Schmidt waiting for that pitch. Here's the 1-0. That one's a strike on the inside corner. Evens the count at 1-1. Eagles straight up in both the infield and the outfield on Dominic Jamette, playing him to all fields. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Wolverines have the bases loaded, looking to tie this game or take the lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Jamette swings and lifts high in left field, but that's where Medashevsky is, and he will make the catch. The Eagles get out of the jam. Wolverines disappointed in themselves. They are able to get one back, but they leave the bases loaded, and we head to the top of the 5th inning. Wolverines trail 2-1. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, the Wolverines really just knocked themselves out of that rally, especially that no out bunt pop up that, if Bruder had been able to get that down at the very worst, you would have had runners on second and third with one out, and then, put something on the ground. You don't have the force out. But, that's a situation that I really think Coach Bakich has got to allow the guys to go after the ball, because Bruder is a guy that, he's hitting above 320 on the season. He's definitely proven himself coming on in this year as a junior college transfer. He's proven himself as being able to get hits in those big time clutch situations, and that's another one right there that if he had seen something in his zone, then he would have been able to put it in the outfield, and the Wolverines would have probably gotten more runs on the board. They could still be in this inning hitting as we speak. In any case, Donnie Eaton stays in the game.
Still, again, Eli, hindsight is 2020. So perhaps he could have gone in a double play ball and you would have been lamenting the choice not to bunt. So Eric Bakich stuck to his guns despite that poor first bunt attempt that got all the way into the stands. Had Bruder bunt, but it did not pay off. But the Wolverines are able to pull one back, and the fact that they have one run on 2 hits really speaks to the fact that they've made the most of their opportunities besides that last inning. And now John Rubino, 2 for 2 on the day, will dig in for a third time. 2 singles so far this game, 1 right at Bivens. And he will line that one, and 3 for 3 on the day. A single right in the hole between Jusic and Cronenworth. What a day for John Rubino so far. 2 singles, now 3, and 2 stolen bases. And that's a leadoff single for the Eagles. They look to answer right back after the Wolverines draw within 1.
Yeah, Rubino helping get the shutdown inning started off for the Eagles, try and keep the Wolverines from shutting them down. Nice piece of hitting, taking the pitch on the outside corner and just putting it where there was an open spot.
And now McGeehan will dig in. Donnie Eaton delivers home. That one's in the dirt. Good block there by Lugbauer to keep Rubino from moving up. Rubino already with 2 stolen bases on the year. That's a 16 and 17 so far for him. Very dangerous base runner. Kyle Jusic is holding with him. Wolverines straight up on McGeehan, the big third baseman. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's lofted high in the air down the right field line. That will get foul into the parking lot. Evens the count at 1-1. McGeehan will step out, get the signs from his third base coach. Now get ready to dig back in with that bright orange bat, holding it high over his right shoulder. Pick-off attempt there by Donnie Eaton, but once again, Rubino is up to the task. He's faced a number of pickoff attempts, as deservedly so, as he's already had 2 stolen bases on 2 stolen base attempts so far this game. He's also scored both Eagles runs so far today. Eaton delivers home. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses low and outside. Now 2-1. Once again, McGeehan will get the signs before digging back in. That's from his third base coach, Eric Roof. Throw over to first base. That one's in the dirt. Nice snag there by Kyle Jusic to prevent that one from getting away and allowing Rubino to move up. Still 2-1 on Mitch McGeehan, the big third baseman standing in that right-handed batter's box. Donnie Eaton takes a look in. Now delivers home. 2-1 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to right field. Slater coming in. Take a few more steps in. He will record the out. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, still with Rubino standing on first base.
That's a nice job by Eaton. Control the at-bat. You're the pitcher. You're in control of the game, and the best way to show that you know what you're doing is to control the count, and then once you get out ahead, you can throw whatever you want and force a guy to take a less than orthodox swing and lift something up into the air or hit something weakly on the ground, and we saw that right there.
And now John Montgomery, the cleanup hitter for the Eagles and their most dangerous player so far today, will come in to bat here. Possibly we see some action in the bullpen, perhaps a pitching change here. Unsure who that is. Can't tell who that is warming up in the bullpen. Can you get a read on that, Eli?
It's definitely a lefty. Looks like it's number
Michael
30, Michael
Hendrickson.
Hendrickson. Thanks for cutting me off there. He's another freshman here on this team, as I mentioned. Could be seeing quite a few freshmen today. They've gotten the brunt of the work out of the bullpen for the Wolverines this season.
Unless Donnie Edens just stays in to face John Montgomery. He'll throw over to first base first, but Jusic doesn't even bother with the tag as Rubino is back in safely. Montgomery 2 for 2 in the day with both Eagles RBIs. He has a double and a triple, both to right field. He's really been pulling the ball. Interesting that the Wolverines are not shifted him, playing him more to pull as he's done such damage going to right field. Nonetheless, Bakich will pop out of that dugout, and that could be the end of the day.
I think it will be. That was quite a bit of delay there, those last couple of exchanges. You know, we saw Lugbauer go out there twice to have a conversation. We saw Eaton throw over to first base several times, and then we also saw him, kind of stand there on the mound for 10 seconds at a time without throwing the pitch. And without even getting the call, Hendrickson is already heading in from the bullpen.
Yeah, I gotta like the move to bring the left-hander in to face the lefty Montgomery. He's done some damage so far, but I think, you think they'll put him on, or do you think they're gonna really give Hendrickson a chance here?
Well, I think by going with a new pitcher, you know, they're showing that they are in fact gonna try and force Montgomery to get him. You know, Montgomery has already shown that he knows what he's doing, and you know, it's not frequent that a guy's able to get 3 different pitchers 3 different times for extra bases. And so right here, Hendrickson's going to come in and, you know, again, as I've been saying all day, with every new pitcher, you know, work low, force the guy to beat you. And it's going to be the same thing with with Montgomery from Hendrickson. You know, and also for Montgomery especially, I'd expect Hendrickson to try and work that outside corner. He is a big pull hitter, and force Montgomery to try and go to the opposite field because he's not necessarily as strong of a hitter out that way. And if you can force him to try and hit that way, then maybe you can get him to make a mistake in your favor, get something off the end of the bat to the third baseman or shortstop.
Hendrickson, the big lefty freshman, 6'3", 205 pounds, from just a little bit down the road at Saline. You can just go just a little bit down US 23 and get there in about 5 minutes from here. 5 minutes, just about as close as Eastern Michigan is to here. They're only about 6 miles away. Hendrickson will get one more warm-up pitch, and we'll be just about ready to get back underway. Big face-off here between the big left-handed hitter and the big left-handed batter. Hendrickson, 0-1 on the year, 16 innings pitched over 11 appearances, 18 Ks against 9 walks, 22 hits given up, good for a 6.19 ERA. We haven't seen him for a while. He last pitched against Indiana a few weekends back. It was in that Saturday game. He pitched 3 innings and a third. He had 4 hits for 4 runs, 2 of those earned. Also did not 4 strikeouts in that game, no walks. So cleaning up a little bit in the control category, but getting his first action in some time. Montgomery getting ready to face Hendrickson here. Delivers home, first pitch. And as you predicted, on the outside corner, but just a little bit too far low. And count is 1-0. Rubino takes his lead off first base. Hendrickson checks him, and he'll throw over. Just a little bit lobbed over to Kyle Jusic.
Yeah, Rubino has a bit of speed over there on first. He stole a base already. They're going to have to be careful. 2 bases, excuse me.
Delivery home. Once again, working the outside corner, and that time he gets it in for a strike. 2 fastballs on the outside corner, and taking Coach Eli's advice here from up in the booth, really attacking that outside corner. Wolverines playing Montgomery to pull just a little bit, and quick pickoff move there. Almost gets Rubino. Rubino, that's the least composed I've seen him sliding back into first base. Of all the times he's really had to check himself over there. He's drawn a number of throws, and deservedly so. Count even at 1-1. One out here in the top of the fifth. Hendrickson delivers home. Rubino is on the move, and that one's in the dirt. No chance there for Lugbauer. And the third stolen base of the day for Rubino moves him into scoring position with only one out here in the top of the fifth.
Rubino and Montgomery have been having a day here offensively for the Eagles. Seems like Rubino just gets on Montgomery, hits him in. Easy as that.
If the Wolverines have anything to say about that, specifically Michael Hendrickson, hopefully they can limit the extra base power of John Montgomery here. 2-1 count. Here's the delivery. That one's low and outside. Now 3-1. Perhaps with the open base, they'll just pitch around him and take their chances with the next guy, that being Metashevsky. Metashevsky standing on deck. Wolverines playing Montgomery to pull. Rubino takes his lead off second base. Henderson takes a long look in. Now comes set. 3-1 delivery. That one's low and outside, and I think they did just what we said is pitch. Once Rubino made that steal, they pitched around Montgomery, and now runners at first and second, only one out here for the Eagles. Metashevsky's got a chance to have the Eagles answer right back after the Wolverines draw within one last inning.
Yeah, that was what a lot of people would call an intentional ball. You know, you actually throw a pitch, but you have no intention of having it be anywhere near the strike zone. And now the Wolverines bullpen starting to get active once more. Can't quite see the number on the pitcher, but I can tell you that Harrison Wenson is the catcher in there warming up the pitcher.
Good piece of info there, Eli.
Looks
Always
like Mac
necessary.
Loser might be the guy on the mound there. Looks like a 29. My vision isn't that great.
First pitch low. Metashevsky 0 for 1 in the day. Also drew a walk in that first inning. That's when Lehman really ran into some trouble through 8 straight balls, walking 2 consecutive batters. And now we'll see pitching coach Sean Kenny head to the mound. Bakich is staying right where he is for now in that third step of the Michigan bullpen. Rubino will trot over to third base and have a conversation. And count is currently 1-0 on Metashevsky. And I believe you are right. That is Mac Lozier warming up. We do see a couple other pitchers getting loose. Maybe even Jacob Cronenworth? No, excuse me. That is Evan Hill. I don't expect him to pitch at all today after pitching 5 yesterday, but he is in the bullpen nonetheless.
He's enjoying the sun. Easy answer there. You know, it's one of the first. I think the weather said about 65. Feels like it's in the 70s, though, up here in the press box with the sun shining in. And, you know, Evan Hill is taking advantage of that.
Yeah, we're getting our base coats on. Excited for the summer here. Eli could definitely use a little bit of help in that department. So soaking up the sun here and getting ready to get back underway.
Is that a shot at my skin complexion?
Maybe. Metashevsky digging into the right-handed batter's box. Wolverines playing straight up on him. And Hendrickson will step off the mound, fake back to second base, but no throw as there is neither Cronenworth or Bivens covering behind Rubino. Metashevsky still waiting on that 1-0 count.
Evan Hill has a clipboard out there in the bullpen.
Now delivery home, 1-0. Good breaking ball, but misses just low. Had some good movement on it. Now 2-0.
You know, Evan Hill, given the fact that he's one of the more tenured pitchers here on this staff, he could be kind of the junior leader, anchoring it a little bit, you know, knows the most, likely to get drafted.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. That one's chopped to third base. Right at Mazes, relay to second, 1, and to first. That's 2, a double play for the Wolverines. They're able to get out of the jam. And we move to the bottom of the 5th.
Big play for the Wolverines. You know, talk about shutdown innings. Wolverines nearly missed their chance at getting a shutdown inning, scoring in the bottom of the 4th, and then coming back and coming this close to giving up runs there in the fifth to let EMU, get the run back, but they're able to shut it down, and now they're going to have a chance in their second inning to face with Gallardo. Gallardo in that first inning struggled a little bit, came in the bullpen from the bullpen when Huckabee went out, and so now with Lugbauer and then Cronenworth Bivens 9-1-2, things look to be beneficial for the Wolverines. They have the momentum somewhat now with a nice double play coming there out of that inning, and it all relies on Lugbauer to get things started here. As a freshman who has struggled, if he's able to, overcome his hitting woes and put something in play or maybe draw a walk from Gallardo, who hasn't been particularly commanding at the mound so far, that gives the top of the order a chance to get things going and continue his success.
And he will dig into that left-hander batter's box, take a few practice cuts before we get underway. As you mentioned, Gallardo back on the mound for the Eagles. McGeehan standing right on the edge of that infield grass now will back up as he gets the sign from his dugout. First delivery, that one's ripped to right of the second baseman. Nice play there. Rubino able to make the snag on the line drive. And so a solid piece of contact. And, well, Drew Lugbauer is a little disappointed. He'll get a few high fives he has back in the dugout. A solid at-bat. Gets a pitch he wanted to hit. Just didn't put it where he wanted despite the hard contact. And now the lineup will turn back over back to the leadoff hitter, Jacob Cronenworth.
If you ask Zach Shaw, he'll tell you that there's a whiteboard in the Wolverines dugout with one stat on it, and that's quality at bats. I'm pretty sure I just saw Eric Backage go down towards that whiteboard to make a mark after Lugbauer's nice line shot.
Unfortunately, right into the glove of John Rubino. Now Cronenworth squares to bunt, pulls it back, squares to bunt again, and will pull it back 2-0. McGeehan just about one step onto that infield grass at third base. Outfield plays Cronenworth to go the other way. 2-0 pitch. That one's fouled way out of play into the Yost parking lot. Eli was reaching for that one, but had no chance of even staying within the friendly confines of Ray Fisher Stadium.
The friendly confines. Whew. I don't know if Cubs fans would be too happy with that attribution.
Here's a 2-1. And started his swing and stopped. That one gets in there nonetheless. 2-2. Shadows just starting to creep onto the field in center field. Approaching Devaney out there in center. He's shaded to left center. Looking for the lefty Cronenworth to go the opposite way. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to left field, but that one will get foul and into the Wolverines bullpen. Matt Clozier will go over, walk slowly over to retrieve that ball. Cronenworth will take a few practice cuts and we'll get back underway shortly. Bivens standing on deck for the Wolverines. Mays is in the hole. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's ripped right back up the middle, and that will get through the infield for a base hit. And a one-out single for Jacob Cronenworth brings Jake Bivens to the plate, looking to perhaps tie up this game.
That's only the Wolverines' third hit on the day. If they're going to beat up on Eastern Michigan, they're going to have to get a few more on the board. Could start right here with Bivens.
And McGeehan will remain right where he was with Cronenworth, right on the edge of that infield grass, watching for a possible bunt. Eagles also looking for Bivens to go the opposite way out of that left-handed batter's box. Cronenworth takes his lead off first. Claro will throw over, but Cronenworth is back in standing up. Cronenworth not as going to be steals and not as successful stealing as he was last year. 7 of 14 so far in 2015. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. Wolverines trail 2-1. Gallardo delivers home. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Another late call there by Robert Lothian. Goes up with the right hand.
Looked close. We'll leave it at that.
Travis Mazes standing on deck. Gallardo taking a long look in. Montgomery holding with Cronenworth at first base. Delivers home 0-1. Breaking ball misses way outside.
It was the same spot.
That was not the same spot, Eli.
Looked like the same spot.
That one was through the heart of the right-hander batter's box.
Who's the umpire here?
Robert Lothian.
I also happen to umpire in my spare time, and I've seen pitches go across a plate. You know, I can tell you that one was basically the same spot.
Were you looking for Were you looking for the
prior.
first base umpire, Michael Conlin, Gary Wagenschultz? Those are also umpires, Eli. Another 2 consecutive throws over to Cronenworth. He gets back in safely both times with heads-up slides while Eli was busy touting his credentials. Count remains 1-1. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. The Wolverines looking to tie the game. That one draws the catcher DeLeo out of his crouch. High and outside. 2-1 for Jake Bivens. McGain will shift a little bit towards the line, still right on the edge of that infield turf. Bivens waiting for the 2-1. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2-2. Took a big, healthy cut there.
Just took his eye off that one. I think he had the right swing there for the pitch, but just a little bit above it.
He's looking for that massive hole over on the right side of the infield. 2-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Throw down to first base, and he is safe. But an ugly strikeout there by Jake Bivens. They're getting ahead in the count 2-1. 2 bad swings and misses. Retires Bivens. And now the third baseman, Travis Mazes, will dig in, hoping to keep this rally alive for the Wolverines. The outfield will shift over, now looking for the lefty Travis Mazes to pull, as will their infield. Montgomery at first base holding with Cronenworth. First pitch, strike on the outside corner. Good pitch right at the knees. Wasn't much Mazes could have done with that one even if he had swung. Content to let it go by for strike 1. Carmen Benedetti standing on deck. Gallardo takes a look in. Now delivers home. Cronenworth took a big secondary lead and drew the attention of DeLeo, but not enough to warrant a throw down to first base. Mazes digs back into that lefty batter's box. Takes a few cuts across home plate. Now he's ready for the 1-1. Gallardo delivers home. Cronenworth starts and stops. Once again, it misses outside. 2-1 for Travis Mazes. Good hitters count here.
That is playing way over to the right side, shading Mazes. So Cronenworth would have to beat everything to get the stolen base if he decided to go.
Waiting for the 2-1 pitch. Here's the delivery. That one misses outside. DeLeo held that one for an extra beat, trying to get the call, but no such luck. That runs the count to 3-1 here for Travis Mazes. Remember, DeLeo will have a turn and have a few words with home plate umpire Robert Lothian, perhaps asking for replacement umpire Eli Sherman to come down and take his turn in the umpiring box.
I actually think he was just looking in towards the dugout to get a sign, but
3-1 pitch. That one misses outside. And Mazes will toss the bat away.
apparently
And on
it
with a
wasn't
2-out
the right,
walk.
apparently it wasn't the right sign. Benedetti coming to the plate, and he has a chance to extend on his success from the fourth inning, rather. He
Last inning.
the lone RBI. The last inning. Lone RBI, had that RBI single when Gallardo came into the game. That was the first hitter that Gallardo faced, and Benedetti ripped that single to the right side.
Benedetti playing very well, also hitting very well with runners on base, hitting 398, 370 with runners in scoring position. 2 outs here for the Wolverine, looking to tie this game. They trail 2-1. First pitch in the turf. Good block there by DeLeo. Benedetti raises his hand to make sure his teammates Cronenworth and Mazes do not try and advance. The umpire and the catcher will both put their masks back on and get ready to get play back underway. Cronenworth standing on second base, Mazes on first. Benedetti at the plate, waiting for the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. That one's ripped right at the first baseman, gloved by Montgomery, and he's able to make save, and that will be quite the call. And now we see a little bit of a rundown. Now there's runners going too far. Mazes advanced, and he will get back in safely. Crazy play there. Eli was a little confused by that one as well. And Benedetti able to be safe. That one it was a grounder to Montgomery. He's able to make an impressive stop, but wasn't able to beat out Benedetti heading over to first base. Then we saw a little bit of confusion as Mazes tried to keep going as the confusion ensued at first base, but Cronenworth had no thoughts of scoring. So then Mazes was already at third base, had to retreat all the way back to second. Somehow the Eagles weren't able to retire him, and now the base is loaded for Cody Bruder with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth.
I wouldn't say that I was confused on that one. I am rather appalled at the base running of Travis Mazes. That's the second big mistake that nearly got him in a lot of trouble today.
First pitch fouled off into the Wolverines dugout.
On that the RBI single last inning with Benedetti at the plate, we saw Mazes overslide second base and then had to dive back in and nearly got picked off on the throwback in from the outfield. And then right there, we saw him just run up on Cronenworth at third. So kind of an off day for the junior, but in any case.
Here's the 0-1. That one misses way outside. Nice backhanded snag by the layout to prevent a run from coming home. Bruder at the plate. He's 0 for 2. Cronenworth standing on third. Mazes at second. Benedetti at first. All itching to come home and give the Wolverines the tie and then the lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one just misses. DeLeo held that one for the extra beat. Almost at the outside corner. Now favorable hitter's count for Cody Bruder. The Eagles playing Bruder to pull in the outfield and the infield. 2-1 for the right-hander. Here's the delivery. That one's fouled straight back into the mesh netting. Eli was looking for that one to come up here. No such luck. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 outs here. Bases loaded for the Wolverines. High leverage situation, trying to tie this game up, perhaps even take the lead. Bruder will take a few practice cuts. Now dig back in.
Slater is primed to go in the on-deck circle.
Gallardo delivers home. 2-2 pitch. That one's left to left field, and that one will be right at the left fielder. Metashevsky thought he had that one into the gap, but just got a little bit too far ahead of that one. And the Wolverines strand 3. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Wolverines still trail 2-1. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, second time this game that the Wolverines have been threatening and left 3 guys on base. Same thing happened last inning, and Wolverines only ended up getting 1 run in that 4th. That 5th ended up with nothing, and they're going to have to, just try and continue to do the same thing, work and, get some hits strung together, and eventually something will break through. That's been the theme so far this season, work and work and work, and eventually you break through for 3 or 4 runs in an inning. We've seen innings where they've scored 10. So I think it's just a matter of time in this game here if the Wolverines can continue to find good pitches from Eagles pitching. The Eagles pitchers haven't been anything, super spectacular so far today. They just been more or less lucky, particularly in that 4th inning. The Wolverines really hit themselves out of the inning with the bunt pop-up and then the pop just on the inside of the third baseline by Slater.
And now the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Eagles to face Michael Hendrickson, the young left-hander, returns for perhaps his first full inning of work after retiring the last two batters of the previous inning. Interesting that the Eagles have 6 hits of the day. 5 of those are Rubino and Montgomery. Only one other hit that belongs to Devaney. DeLeo's had a solid defensive outing here this afternoon. He's 0 for 2. 0 for 1 with a walk. Threw a 4-pitch walk back in that first inning when Lehman was really struggling. Wolverines outfield average depth and straight up on DeLeo. First pitch, breaking ball misses high and outside. DeLeo takes a few cuts, takes back into the right-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-0. Delivery home. That one's on the inside corner. DeLeo had to lift his arms to get out of the way of that one. 2-0. Beautiful sunny day here in Ann Arbor. Perfect day for baseball. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Rules first base umpire Michael Conlon. And that runs the count to 3-0. Not a good start to the inning for Michael Hendrickson. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Pours in for a strike. DeLeo is taking all the way. He'll dig back in. Shadows creeping a little bit further onto the field. 3-1 pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. DeLeo thought he had the walk. He was ready to trot down to first base. Not so fast, says Robert Lothian. And the count runs full.
Hendrickson has done a nice job sticking in this one, coming back from 3-0 count.
Payoff pitch inside. Almost hit him. And that will be a walk to start the inning. Lugbauer will go out to stand in front of home plate, run through the signs with his infield. As that brings up Austin Wilson, the designated hitter today, 0 for 2. Flew out to right field his first time up before strikeout looking in the 4th inning.
Looks like the Wolverines have a lefty warming up in the bullpen. Can't tell who it is because they're standing behind a light pole, but I imagine it's Oliver Jaski.
Here's the first pitch, squares to bunt, and it's right back to the pitcher. He throws down to second, and they got him. What a play by Michael Hendrickson. He makes the aggressive call throwing down to second. Bivens got run into there by DeLeo. That's a big boy, the catcher. But he's able to hold on, record the out. Nice aggressive play there by Michael Hendrickson in the field. Not the best of bunts there by Austin Wilson. So he's standing on first. The fielder's choice leaves the Eagles with runner on first and 1 out now in the top of the 6th inning.
And there's just another example of why bunting is not the right idea in most situations. You know, you're trying to get the lead runner over and give up an out, get a guy on second with 1 out, and then, you know, the guy is unable to get the bunt down and goes right back to the pitcher. The pitcher able to throw the runner out at second base, and then, you know, you're left with the same position you were in, just 1 extra out.
And Austin Wilson is standing at first base. He draws a throw over from Hendrickson, able to get back in. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. What a nice pitch there. He had Devaney crossed up. Devaney steps out, gets the signs. Taking his time, readjusting his batting gloves. Wilson takes his lead off first base. Kyle Jusick holding with him there. Hendrickson takes a long look in. Getting a few calls of encouragement from this sparse crowd. He'll throw over to first base. Almost airmailed that one, but solid piece of glove work by Kyle Jusick to snag that one and prevent Wilson from moving up to second base. Mays is right on the edge of the infield grass, looking for a possible bunt. Hendrickson will throw over again, just letting Wilson know he has an eye on him. Number 25, the shortstop David Lett standing on deck. Hendrickson comes set. He'll throw over again. That's 3 straight throws. But the sparse crowd not letting him have any of that. I haven't really heard much from them today, aside from the Carmen Benetti RBI single that drew the Wolverines within 1. That's where we stand right now. Wolverines trail 2-1. Delivers home. That one misses outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Wilson standing on first base. Devaney taking a look down the third base line for the signs. Now he'll get ready to face the lefty Michael Hendrickson. He'll throw over again, and that one almost got away. Nice backhanded snag by Kyle Jusic. He's been on his game defensively so far today.
Hendrickson could be wasting time, as we saw with Donnie Eaton a few innings ago. Just trying to give the pitchers a little bit extra time. Looks like they're ready. They're just kind of lounging around there in the bullpen.
He'll throw home runner moving, and that one is right down the third base line. Mason will field it, flip over to first. Runner going all the way over to third base, and that one is in the dirt, but snagged there by Hendrickson. Smart piece of base running there by Austin Wilson. He was moving. Travis Mazes made a nice piece of fielding. Perhaps could have let that one go foul. Nonetheless, chose to throw it to first for the second out, and Wilson able to move all the way to third as he realized there was no one covering third base.
Yeah, there was a breakdown of the defense and the communication. Hendrickson's got to be over there, and Bruder, who ran over there to try and cover the base, looks like he might have gotten cleated or something. He's favoring that right leg. Looked like he was grabbing the shin. Could have been that he gotten cleated or stepped on maybe as Wilson rolled over. Mazes is going to give him a few seconds by having a conversation with Hendrickson at the plate. But Bivens seems to be all right.
Yeah, Bivens still messing with his cleat, but I think he'll be fine.
He's had a rough inning. He got slid into at second base by DeLeo on the grounder back to Hendrickson.
And as of right now, Hendrickson will stay in the game to face the number 9 hitter, David Lett. 0 for 2 on the day. Comes home. That one's lifted high in the air to left field. That's where Benedetti is. He loses, and he makes the catch. Loses his hat, makes a sliding catch. He wasn't ready for that one. That one dipped on him quickly, but an impressive snag by Cameron Benedetti. He's shown the leather all over the field so far this year. I've seen him in right, seen him in left, seen him in first base, and also pitching. So an impressive snag, perhaps made that play a little harder than he needed to. I thought he was going to get that one easily on the routine flyout, but it lost all steam as it headed towards the outfield and has to go down to one knee to grab that one. Nonetheless, we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Wolverines looking to tie this game up. They trail 2-1. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Benedetti coming in to get that one. Went with a slide. Made it look a little bit fancy, but, that definitely wasn't for the flair. He actually needed to slide to get there, and nice flash of the leather from a guy who is certainly thought of more of it for his bat than for his defense, but showing that he can do it both ways here on the Wednesday afternoon.
And Johnny Slater will get ready to face Augie Gallardo, who will stay out there for his 3rd inning of work. Gallardo's run into a little bit of trouble. 2 walks against 1 strikeout, but able to get out of the innings with allowing no damage. He didn't allow the runner on Huckabee's account to score, but he's given up no runs personally himself. 40 pitches could be nearing the end of his day. Eli had mentioned that Johnny Slater was looking very ready to go at the end of that last inning after Cody Bruder ended that one. So Johnny Slater will lead off this one. The 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Wolverines. Slater, Jusic, Jamette. First pitch. That one misses high. Looked like a good pitch there, but Gallardo unable to get the call. Slater in the left-handed batter's box. Eagles playing him to pull. Here's the 1-0. That one's pulled down the right field line. Fair ball! Slater rounding first. He's digging for second. Peterson goes over and grabs the one in the corner. He'll throw in, and Slater will get there in there standing with a double. Leadoff double for Johnny Slater. He gives the arrow to the dugout. And the Wolverines are in business here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Johnny Slater, nice piece of hitting there. Getting the inside pitch, and, it's a testament to patience, his approach at the plate today. Didn't get great pitches early on in the game, and then, had that pop-up back in the 4th inning. And then right there we saw staying confident, staying strong, and getting the inside pitch, ripping it down the line for an extra base hit. And, his bat has really gotten hot these last couple of weeks.
And now Kyle Jusic will dig into that left-handed batter's box as DeLeo goes out to have a mound visit with his young left-hander. There are two pitchers warming up in the Eagles bullpen. Very difficult to see them behind the hanging tarp and some of the mesh.
Yeah, we're not in our usual broadcast spot. Normally it would be a few seats down to the left and have a better view at it. It also is quite sunny. The sun coming in, glaring down the right field line.
First pitch, ripped right back up the middle, off the mound, and that gets into center field for a base hit. Slater will hold up at third base. Curious decision there, but a single by Kyle Jusic puts runners at the corners. Nobody out here for the Wolverines.
Slater gets a shout in from the dugout, Coach Bakich. If there's one guy that has the speed to score on that, it's definitely Johnny Slater. And I'm as confused as the coaching staff is why he held up there. But, the Wolverines are threatening. Jamet in there now, the 8-hitter. If he's able to put it in play, if Lugbauer is able to put it in play, that would bring it back to the top of the order, who we know have been successful of late. One thing to note is last week when the Wolverines scored 18 runs against these Eagles, every single hitter on the Wolverines lineup, with the exception of Jacob Cronenworth, had at least one hit.
Breaking ball just misses. Good movement to break right back across the plate, but too little too late, and it's 1-0 on Dominic Jamet. Gallardo comes set. Could be his final batter. 1-0 delivery. That one's fouled straight back. Jamet a little bit late on that fastball. He'll go over to have a retrieve something.
It's looks like pine tar that he's just putting on his bat, trying to get a better grip.
And runners at the corners. Slater at third base. Jusic at first. Slater itching to come home and tie this game up. Gallardo possibly facing his last batter. There are two pitchers ready. And that one hit him. And home plate umpire Robert Lothian will rule that he leaned into that one and tell him to get right back into the batter's box. That makes the count 2-1. So Jamet leaned into that one, trying to get an easy appearance on the base pass. Nonetheless, count is 2-1. Waiting for the delivery here. Here it comes. That one's grounded to shortstop. Flip to second, relay to first, and they got him with a double play. A run will score, but that's exactly what the Eagles were willing to do. Give up the run for 2 outs. But nonetheless, the Wolverines tie the game, and we're sitting at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
I don't know that that's exactly what the Eagles would have wanted. I would have expected them to, look for a strikeout or some extra out and then go for the double play, but
can't be disappointed when you get a double play ball there.
But now with the game tie, they're going to have to, it looks like they're going to go with a pitching change and bring in somebody else for Gallardo. And, now you're basically playing a new ball game against a team that has a much deeper bullpen than you do, a much more experienced bullpen, and also a team that is offensively definitely superior, both in their non-conference games and in their conference slate. And so, playing a 3-inning game with Michigan obviously still hitting in this inning, it definitely has to favor Michigan. So I'm not sure that the Eagles are necessarily too happy that they tied it up. In the meantime, we're going to update you on the out-of-town scores. A few other Big Ten teams in non-conference action today. Rutgers is at home facing off with Columbia University. They're leading 7-3 in the top of the 8th. Maryland is surprisingly trailing to Liberty 4-1 in the top of the 5th. Maryland kind of surprisingly in fourth in the Big Ten right now. A lot of people were expecting them to just run away with the Big Ten. 8-4 right now, their record in conference. IPFW and Purdue playing in Lafayette. They just got underway. Bottom of the first, no score there. And Bucknell and Penn State, Evansville and Indiana, Cornell College and Iowa, Michigan State and Central, Northwestern and USC, and Nebraska and Omaha all have not gotten underway yet, but will be playing later on in this afternoon. We'll also just give you a quick summary of the Big Ten slate. The three surprises, I should say, at the top of the Big Ten this season are Illinois, Iowa, and Ohio State. They're still all three at the top. Illinois and Iowa both 8-1. Ohio State at 7-2. Illinois is at 36-1 on the season, so they are showing that they are one of the best teams, not just in the Big Ten but also in the country.
Just to be clear, that's 36-1 tie. You made it sound like they only have one loss in the year. Nonetheless, first pitch from Marcinek, the new pitcher, is poured in there for a strike.
Either way, after Ohio State is Maryland and Nebraska, the two preseason favorites, and then Michigan coming in at 6-6. They should benefit from the home series against Purdue this weekend, though.
0-1 delivery. That one's in for a strike, breaking ball. A little bit of unorthodox delivery from the big left-hander. 6'1", 205 pounds out of Streetsboro, Ohio. The junior has a little bit of a funky kind of sidearm delivery, and he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Lugbauer. And the third pitch misses low and outside, brings it to 1-2. Marcinek, 15 innings pitched on this year, 6 ERA from 10 earned runs given up. Over that time period, 24 hits, 0-1 on the year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Almost hit him. Lugbauer gets out of the way, and that evens the count at 2-2. Wolverines have tied this game up. We're sitting at 2-2 in the sixth, but they took a double play ball there and no runners left on base, leaving up to the number 9 hitter, Drew Lugbauer. Cronenworth waiting on deck. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball there. And that will do it for the bottom of the sixth. Wolverines tie it up. And we are all square at 2. Each team also with 6 hits as we head to the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman on the call.
Yeah, after the RBI hit, or excuse me, not RBI hit, but the hit that got Johnny Slater up to third base, the single to the right side, when we mentioned that he got yelled at by the coaching staff for not trying to go home and score. You know, that play, if you think about it, really had a bigger impact than we think because, you know, he ended up scoring, yeah, but had he gone home on that play, it's possible that that Jusic would have been able to go to second on the throw and perhaps not end up getting in the double play that caused Michigan to give up 2 outs on the inning. You know, Michigan has fallen victim to 3 different double plays on this game. And they've just scored 2 runs. They've left 7 on base through 6 innings. So, you know, things seem to be a little bit off sorts today for the Wolverines offensively. You know, they're stringing hits together, but you know, nobody has come up super clutch quite yet to break things open.
And now the new pitcher for the Wolverines will be number 28, Cam Wysocki. The redshirt sophomore standing at 6'3", 180 pounds. He's pitched 10 1/3 innings this year. ERA standing at 3.48, 6 runs allowed, 4 of those earned, 11 hits on the year, 6 strikeouts against 7 walks. He's done a good job limiting extra base hits, although he has given up 1 home run, no doubles or triples. We last saw Wysocki facing off against Penn State this past weekend. Pitched 1 inning in that Friday loss. Gave up a walk, but no further damage, and was able to put in a solid outing there once the game was already out of reach. What are you looking for from Wysocki here today?
Well, he was in an eat-up innings role kind of there on Friday, and it's, I don't want to say the same situation, but it's similar given that it's a week, a midweek game, and, I think Coach Bakich has proven that he doesn't care quite as much about these midweek games as he does about the conference games, and as you hear a military jet fly over. But for Wysocki, it's about being focused and just trying to prove yourself, continue on the performance from Friday, and shut the Eagles down here and show that you can come into the bullpen in more clutch situations and have success, because he's like the rest of the guys. He's trying to earn playing time.
And Jordan Peterson squares to bunt, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles. 0 for 3 ground outs today so far. Squares to bunt, pulls it back for a ball. Here's the 1-0 delivery from Wysocki. That one's ripped foul right into the Wolverines dugout. Hector Gutierrez will go over and retrieve that one.
Gutierrez saw time last week against the Eagles.
Also came in as a pinch runner yesterday in that Clash of America. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled off over the right field line this time. Well into the parking lot. Well into the parking lot, Eli.
Just out of our reach. We're going to catch a ball, Andrew. We're going to catch a ball.
This game? Do you guarantee it, Eli?
I'm not guaranteeing this game, but I'm saying we are going to catch a ball.
This year?
At some point.
And here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled off again, just wide of third base. Mays over to field that one, but not before it went foul. Count remains 1-2. Peterson will reset, take a few practice cuts before digging back into that righty batter's box.
He's had a ground ball day.
John Rubino standing on deck. 1-2 pitch. That's a definition of defensive hitting. Just stuck his bat out there, eager to take the foul and live to see another day.
Yeah, check swing. Might have intended to hold up and, keep from swinging on that one.
Nonetheless, count remains 1-2. Here's the delivery. That one's fouled off again on the first base line. Good job staying alive here by Peterson, extending the at-bat.
Yeah, jam shot there. Nice job fighting off the inside pitch and, extending the bat. The at-bat, I should say.
Well, he extended the bat to extend the at-bat. We're having some trouble here. 1-2 pitch. That one's popped up in the air. Cronenworth will settle underneath it and make the catch for the first out of the top of the 7th inning. So a good battle there by Jordan Peterson, but nothing comes of it. And he'll be the first out of the 7th inning for Cam Wysocki.
If he hits something over to Jusic at first base in his next plate appearance, he'll have recorded an out at for every position on the infield today. He had a ground out to Mazes at third in the first inning. Then a ground out to the pitcher.
There's a ground ball foul by John Rubino. He's been hitting the ball all over the field today. 3 for 3 in the day, 3 singles. He scored the Eagles only 2 runs, knocked in both times by Montgomery. As I mentioned, 6 hits for the Eagles, and 5 of those are from Rubino and Montgomery combined. Mazes right on the edge of the infield grass. Fastball misses high and outside. He evens the count at 1-1. Mazes playing right along the line at third base. Count even at 1-1 on Rubino. 1-1 pitch misses low. Try to get him with a breaking ball. Count goes to 2-1. Outfield plays Rubino just a little bit to right center. 2-1 pitch. That one's in the dirt. Gets away from Lugbauer. No issue as there's no one on base.
3-1 count here for Rubino.
Rubino will dig back into that righty batter's box. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Cam Wysocki taking his time. Here's the 3-1 delivery. He got him. Good fastball poured in there. Excuse me, breaking ball.
Mazes was in on the baseline before that pitch. Looked like he was expecting the bunt and then had to run way back as Wysocki delivered.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one's popped foul down the first base line. That will just barely clear the stands down the first base line. A few fans nervously ducking their heads, but gets out of their way. We'll reset at 3-2. Digging into that right-handed batter's box. Wysocki comes set, shrugs his shoulders, payoff pitch. Grounder to short. Bivens makes the dive, and he will have no play. Nice job to keep that in the infield, but that will be John Rubino's 4th hit of the day. Have yourself a day, John Rubino. And he represents the go-ahead run here in the top of the 7th with 1 out.
Yeah, Bivens really had no chance at that. Rubino is just too quick. We've already seen him steal a base 3 times on the day. So he motored down the line. He was there basically as soon as Bivens stood up. Wolverines are just going to have to try and get the next one.
Mitch McGeehan steps in. Here's the delivery. That one's way outside. Breaking ball missed 1-0. As you mentioned, Rubino's already stolen 3 bags. That's 16, 17, 18, and steals on the year. What can the Wolverines do to slow down this one-man running game of John Rubino?
Well, as I said last time, work on the slide step.
Move to the plate, and that's a good breaking ball in there to even the count at 1-1.
As I say that, Wysocki takes a high leg kick in towards the plate, but he's got to work with the foot low on the ground, keep Rubino from being able to get a good jump. And Ludbauer's got to have quick footwork behind the plate.
And Rubino draws a throw there. Wysocki throwing over to him at first base. Jusic holding with him there. Wysocki throws over again. One's in the dirt. Good snag there by Kyle Jusic. Mazes will take a few steps back, playing just a few steps off the line at third base, fairly deep. Not looking for a bunt out of the big third baseman. Rubino's on the move. Throw down to second base. They might have a shot. And that one gets past Cronenworth. Good job backing up by Jake Bivens. They had a shot, but it was a little bit too far in the dirt. Wasn't as good of a jump as we've seen by Rubino in the past. Nonetheless, 4 for 4 on the day, 4 steals. You can't ask for any more out of your number 2 hitter.
They went with a pitch out, and they still couldn't get him. That just, he's fast. He is the fastest guy in the field today, and you're not going to catch him. The best you can hope for is that you get the rest of the hitters basically in order and keep him from getting on the base pass, having a chance to get on the base pass again and just run the lights out.
2-1 pitch in the dirt-colored turf. 3-1 now on Mitch McGeehan. As much of a ground ball day as Jordan Peterson has, Mitch McGeehan's had a flyout day, 3 flyouts on the game so far.
Yeah, 1 to center, 2 to right. Just try and get him to pop another thing up. It's the best you can hope for.
Wysocki checks the runner once, twice. Now here's the 3-1. And just as Dr. Eli ordered a pop-up, Jake Bivens settling underneath it. He'll make a last-second adjustment, but he's able to record that. And we see Carmen Benedetti tumbling over, losing his hat for the second time today. A little bit of a miscommunication there, but Bivens able to make the play for the second out of the top of the 7th.
Benedetti's aggressive. I have no problem with that. Coming in, trying to get that ball. You saw him having to break out full speed in the last inning to make that sliding pop-up catch.
I think part of the issue of why he had to make the sliding catch was he was not going full speed.
No, he was running in, pop-up died quick.
Running.
And then, he realized that he wasn't going to get there, turned on the motor, showed that he had the speed. Looks like they're going to intentionally walk Montgomery.
Not a bad move with how Montgomery has punished the Wolverines here.
That pitch was a little close to the zone. If I were Wysocki, I'd be careful not to get anything too close to the strike zone because Montgomery could reach out and tap it into the outfield. Wysocki did a better job that time getting it all the way in the right-handed batter's box.
And this analysis of the pitch outs for the intentional walk brought to you by the daily sports report on WCBN. You can listen in 6 to 6:30. That show's going on right now, but stay with us as we wrap up this exciting tie game. But nonetheless, that's Monday through Thursday, 6 to 6:30. You can tune in 88.3 FM in Ann Arbor. You can listen on WCBN.org anywhere in the world with an internet connection, as well as the TuneIn Radio app or the WCBN Player app. So plenty of ways to listen. Be sure to tune in any days there are not a baseball game here in Ann Arbor.
The beauty of the 21st century is that anywhere in the world with an internet connection is basically anywhere in the world these days.
So 2 outs, runners at first and second. Eagles trying to break open this tie game. Wolverines just tied in the bottom of the 6th. Eagles trying to respond. Wysocki will step off the mound. Look Rubino back to second. Montgomery back to first. These have been the Eagles' only dangerous weapons so far today, but dangerous they have been. Wysocki checks the runner. Now comes home. Good breaking ball there. Nothing Medashevsky could do with that one.
Heard the whole Michigan bench scream, yes, he did on the check swing. I think the home plate umpire called it a strike as it was. Good pitch, getting it where the batter just was too confused and it ended up being called a strike anyways.
Owen delivery. They're on the move. Throw down to third base. And they got him. John Rubino tries one too many times to steal. He was already 4 for 4, but now he's 4 for 5. An aggressive call, trying to steal third. He almost got in there, but a great throw there by Drew Lugbauer. And we move to the bottom of the 7th. The score is tied here, 2-2. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
What's the saying there? It's fifth time's a charm. Yeah, I think that applies here. John Rubino, one of the fastest guys. He's one of the fastest guys we've seen all season. Certainly the fastest guy, as I mentioned, on the field today. And he was this close to having his 5th steal. The Eagles would have had second and third with 2 outs, with one of their best hitters up, and that ends up being pretty clutch from Lugbauer, being able to tap the heels together and get the ball down to third base, get the throw right on point so that Mazes could just catch the ball, swipe the tag, and Rubino ends up heading back to the bench, and so do the rest of the Eagles. Wolverines now coming to the plate, trying to again carry that momentum. We saw that double play to end the top of the 5th inning. Wolverines got a few runners on in the bottom of the 5th, weren't able to score. Things could be different here if they're able to string together hits. They got the top of the order. Cronenworth, Bivens, and Mazes in to face Marcinick, Michael Marcinick, the new pitcher, a lefty.
Well, he did face off Eagles against the last hitter, retired Lugbauer pretty easily at the end of that inning after the double play ball. He came in as the new pitcher, was able to get Lugbauer pretty easily on a swinging strikeout. So now we head to the bottom of the 7th. The Wolverines will open it up with the top of the order. Jacob Cronenworth steps into that left-hander batter's box. Waiting for the first pitch. Here it comes. The sidearm lefty deals it in there for a strike.
Looks like someone's joyriding out there on Alumni Field in a golf cart. Doing some field work, but enjoying the ride as well.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Good breaking ball in there. Broke right down at the knees. Quickly 0-2 on Jacob Cronenworth. And just as Marcinick did in his first batter against Lugbauer, he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Jacob Cronenworth. Marcinick. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one misses just barely low. Looked like it was about the same spot.
And compared to the other pitchers we've seen from the Eagles today, Marcinick, not quite as much speed on the pitches, not quite as much speed on the fastball, but makes up for it with quite a bit of movement. Nice 2-seamer.
1-2 pitch. That one's ripped right at the shortstop, and he made the catch. Lett makes a diving play. Didn't have to go quite to full stretch, but a sinking line drive takes a nice play by Lett there to record the out. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, last week in that game, we saw Lett make, 4 or 5, maybe 6 of those plays just like that. It was kind of a one-man wrecking crew on defense for the Eagles. and right there just showed that he's a really, really stellar shortstop.
Jake Bivens takes a strike from Marcinek. Eagles playing the lefty Jake Bivens to go the other way. McGeehan at third and Montgomery at first, also looking for a potential bunt. Here's the 0-1. That one's in the dirt. Checked his swing, and he went around. That's what Gary Wagenschultz, Eli's second favorite umpire.
Second favorite name. I have no favorite umpire.
Good clarification there. Don't want to.
Except myself, of course. I'm my own favorite umpire.
He already offered to replace Robert Lothian at home plate, but Lothian declined. 0-2 on Jake Bivens. One out here in the bottom of the seventh. Tie game here from Ray Fisher. 0-2 pitch, grounded to second baseman. Rubino fields it, waits for a few beats, then tosses it over to Montgomery. Easily gets Jake Bivens. That one's hit right at Rubino. Easy play there, and could afford to take his time before tossing it over Montgomery. 2 up, 2 down here in the seventh.
Rubino took a lot of time on that one. Bivens running it out was, 95% the way down the line. He just was in that last 8 feet or so when the ball got there. If Rubino had taken one more beat, if he had, mishandled the ball out of the glove, I think Bivens would have been able to beat it.
And that will bring up Travis Mazes. The lefty digs in.
Massive shift from the defense.
Yeah, interesting move here. I wasn't quite surprised to see it with Kyle Jusick, but Travis Mazes has shown a little bit more of the ability, especially in years past, to hit to all fields. Interesting how overshifted the Eagles are here. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That misses low and outside.
And the overshift, a topic of, so much conversation in the major leagues. Should teams do it? Should they not do it? But, with college, given the vast lack of video video scouting that you could do, it's surprising to see a team actually do this in a college game.
Yeah, first time I've seen it in a college game. That's for sure.
And
next pitch misses outside, 2-1 now.
Apparently they know something about Mazes that we don't. Even given the fact that we see Mazes play on a daily basis.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's whipped the opposite way, and that one will get down for a base hit. Mazes taking a hard turn, but he will hold up there. Good 2-out single. And as we mentioned, he can hit it the opposite way. That's exactly what he did there. Just a nice line shot to Manischewski out there in left field, right where Manischewski was standing, but obviously had already done a few skips before that. And the Wolverines get a 2-out base runner here. Perhaps a 2-out rally to try and break this tie game.
Yeah, he did hit it to the opposite field, kind of against the shift, but I don't think even if the infielders had been in the proper position, I don't think they would have had the chance to get to that one. And, Manischewski being shifted to the right side a little bit actually helped out because, there's the potential that could have gotten past had he been standing in his normal position. Going to be a mound visit here for the Eagles.
I think they're just buying time
plan together
for a new pitcher. Looks by all intents and purposes that a new pitcher will be coming in. Of course, for the Eagles, that was Matthew Bean that's just starting to warm up there, the right-hander. I have seen, I believe it was Ryan Lavoie was also warming up there. He's standing around out in the bullpen. But the home plate umpire, Robert Lothian, will go out to break up this mound visit. And as for right now, Marcinek will stay on the mound. Mays is standing on first base with 2 outs. He does have some potential as a base runner. 3 or 4 on his shorter season so far. He did suffer some injuries, but he's been on fire since he's come back and just adds another hit to the total. He's 1 for 2 today. Carmen Benedetti, the big left-hander, getting ready. Here's a letter from Marcinek. That one's way outside. 1-0. Outfield straight up on the lefty Benedetti. Infield plays him to pull just a little bit. Montgomery holding with Mazes at first base. Benedetti waiting for the pitch from Marcinick. Marcinick checks the runner. He'll throw over. Slow move to first base. Mazes in with a head for a slide, but rather easily. Marcinick takes a long look in. Waiting for the 1-0 pitch. Checks the runner. Now comes home. Almost hit him. Breaking ball, a little bit of chin music there, but due to the slow delivery, the limited amount of information we have on Marcinick is that he only throws about 80 miles an hour, but as Eli mentioned, makes up for it with some good movement on those pitches. 2-0 here on Carmen Benedetti. Here comes the delivery. That one's in the dirt, 3-0. Perhaps, do you think they're pitching around Benedetti a little bit here?
I think it's certainly possible. Benedetti, one of the 2 RBIs for the Wolverines today, and as I mentioned, leads the Big Ten in that category. Also hitting well above 350, slugging well above 540.
3-0 pitch, and that one gets away. And we'll see if Mazes tries to take third. He'll obviously move up to second on the walk. He will hold up there as DeLeo tracks that one down. But a single by Mazes and a 4-pitch walk to Benedetti will put runners at first and second for the Wolverines, trying to get a 2-out rally going. That will likely be the end of the day for Michael Marcinick.
It will indeed, as the coach comes back out to the mound, takes the ball, doesn't even give his pitcher a pat on the back as he heads toward the dugout. And all the Wolverines are going to have a powwow outside the Michigan dugout. Offensive discussion. Looks like Benedetti going to go in and get a sip of water.
All right, a little too much detail from the description of Benedetti. We'll get you updated on the new pitcher here. It's Matthew Beaton, number 19 for the Eagles. He is a sophomore right-hander from Gulf, Ontario. Big Canadian, 6'4", 210 pounds. Fairly hard thrower. Eli, what are you looking for out of Beaton's in this appearance?
Well, Beaton is one of the better pitchers we've seen from the Eagles. Has a little bit of a herky-jerky motion, has the head moving out towards his left side as he delivers the ball. So not quite stable and throws hard. From these first few warm-up pitches we've seen, the 1.86 ERA stands out to me as being significant. Has a decent curveball that cuts across the plate. Not quite 12.6. The fastball, I'd estimate high 80s. But things nearly ready to get back underway. He's just taking his last couple. It's going to be Cody Bruder here for the Wolverines. Bruder 0 for 3 on the day, including a foul pop-up, or not a foul ball, but a bunt right back to the pitcher. The pitch before that had been a foul ball bunt that went up into the stands over the net behind the plate. Bruder ready now.
Bean last appeared on that Sunday game in that series against Central Michigan. Pitched 2 2/3 innings in that 3-1 loss for the Eagles. Gave up 4 hits, 1 run, but that was not earned, so not helped out at all by his fielders behind him. Now DeLeo will step out in front of the plate, go over the signs with his infield. Eagles trying to get out of a jam here. Wolverines trying to break open the tie game here. 2-2 in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Bruder stands in that righty batter's box. Beaton checks the runner, comes home. First pitch right at his head. He ducked out of the way of that one. Bruder not affected at all by that one.
You could say that Beaton was going right after him.
Counts at 1-0. Looking for the righty Bruder to pull. Eli's still chuckling to himself after that one. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swing and a cut foul. I think that went off some part of the catcher DeLeo. Evens the count at 1-1.
Well, it seems like the right strategy in this situation would be to go right after Bruder, 2 outs here, and he's one of Michigan's better hitters. You have the force out, so you might as well try and get him to ground out.
1-1 pitch on a ground ball, and that's right where the shortstop let is. He'll toss over to Rubino at second, and as Eli called it, the ground out will do it for the Wolverines. So they get 2 runners on with 2 outs, but unable to keep the rally going. And we head to the top of the 8th with the score tied 2-2 at Ray Fisher Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman on the call.
Wolverines have left 9 runners on base today. You know, you got to get guys in. You know, that is not a number that you want to be proud of. You know, great you're getting guys on base, but you got to be able to hit them in too. And today things have just not worked out. Looks like Wolverines are going to have Kendall Patrick come into the game at catcher now, in for Drew Lugbauer.
Getting the warm-up tosses from Cam Wysocki, who will come out for another inning on the mound. He did give up 1 hit. That was to Rubino last inning, and also a walk to Montgomery, but able to get out of it when Rubino was caught stealing, trying to go for his 5th steal of the day, trying to steal 3rd. Nonetheless, he was thrown out on a nice play by Drew Lugbauer, and that will be the end of the day for Drew Lugbauer, as Kendall Patrick, the little more experienced backstop, will come in here to try and close out this one. Wolverines still need another run at least to win this one, but they're going to stick with Kendall Patrick here. And coming to the plate, coming back to the plate, Metashevsky. He was batting when Rubino was gunned down by the rocket arm of Drew Lugbauer. He's 0 for 2 in the day. Also had a 4-pitch walk in that first inning. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Here's the first pitch. That one's pulled foul right off the lining down that third base line.
That was hit hard.
Yeah, just a little bit out in front of that one.
You know, he hit the third base, the wall on the third base line on the air, which means that thing was, you know,
0-1 pitch misses outside.
Never got more than 10 feet above the ground and was on the line the whole way there. And so, you know, that speaks to how hard he hit that.
Count even at 1. Here's the delivery from Wysocki. Cut swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Lothian doesn't even need to motion down to Conlin at first base. He'll make the call himself. And that makes the count 1-2.
Big pitch here.
Delivery home. That one misses outside. Wysocki allows the count to go even at 2-2.
Looks like Jamet is coming back from the hitting cages. Had his helmet and bat in hand.
2-2 pitch, ground ball foul. Once again, out ahead of that one.
Fielded on a hop by the third base coach. Nice flash of the hand leather.
Hand leather, Eli?
Well, leather is just skin, isn't it?
2-2 pitch upcoming from Wysocki. Here's the delivery. That one's fouled off again. Patrick eager to chase that one down the line, but that was foul all the way.
Well, you know, if it hits a pebble and goes back fair, it is a fair ball. So
good effort there.
Got to pick it up before it gets there.
Well, they would have had Menashevsky dead in the water as he was firmly planted in that right-handed batter's box. Count remains 2-2. Here's a delivery from Wysocki. He got him! Ring him up! Strikeout looking there. And for the first out of the 8th inning, he is rung up and he will sulk back to the dugout. 2-2 here in the top of the 8th.
Dirty breaking ball out of the hand of Wysocki. Cutting across the plate, as I mentioned, it's not quite a 12-6 out of the hand of Wysocki. It goes from the hands of the right-hand hitter across the plate. And, Metashevsky probably thought it was going inside.
First pitch grounded to Cronenworth. He'll flip over to first. And that's a easy one pitch out off the bat of Tony DeLeo.
Yeah, routine for Cronenworth.
Austin Wilson, the third batter of this 8th inning. He was the one that attempted to lay down the bunt 2 innings ago in the 6th. And a nice play by Michael Hendrickson to throw down to second where Jake Bivens was covering. He got run down by the big boy DeLeo. That one, breaking ball misses low and outside. 1-0 on Austin Wilson, the DH here today, 0 for 3 on the day. Mazes standing at the corner of the infield grass. 1-0 pitch. Tries to bunt again, right back to the mound. And a flip over to first base. Jusic does a good job covering. Wysocki had to wait for Jusic to get over there. But an easy 1-2-3 inning for Cam Wysocki. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Score all tied at 2 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman with WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Everything about that inning was textbook. You know, the curveball, textbook. Strike 3. Ground out to Cronenworth. Easy play, you know, wait on it, field it low, get the runner by 20 steps. And then the bunt play, you know, Wysocki showed he can field his position, range to his left, got the ball, flipped it over to Jusic at first. You know, by the time Wysocki had that ball, Jusic wasn't even to first base yet. That's how quickly that developed for Cam, and, you know, got out of the inning real quick, simple as that. So the Wolverines going to go back to the bats. Going to be Slater, Jusic, Jamet, and then Patrick will be at the dish for his first plate appearance after coming in the top half of the inning.
And Slater with that double, the rip of the double in the 6th inning, he came around to score. It was right down the right field line.
Yeah, that tied the game on his when he scored.
On the double play ball. And he's had some good swings. As you mentioned, he's really been heating up the plate, raising his average right around 50 points in just around the last week and a half. So Slater's getting a little more playing time and showing that he deserves it.
He's bulked up a little bit. You know, last year coming in and you know, as I recall in high school when we used to play him out, he played for Southfield Lathrop, us for Groves. He was a skinny dude, you know. He was known for his speed. That's what made him a good outfielder. But now he's bulked up a little bit, got quite a bit of power in the bat. He's able to rip it mostly to the pole field.
First pitch misses outside. Here's the 1-0 from Beaton. That one's a right at the knees, but no call. Now 2-0. Draws a little bit of ire from the few Eastern Michigan Eagles fans in attendance. Slater waiting for the 2-0. Here it comes. That one's inside. 3-0 now on Johnny Slater. McGeehan well off the line at third base. He's right on the edge of that infield grass. Worry of a possible bunt. Outfield deep all around in a no doubles look. 3-0 pitch. Slater taking all the way, but nonetheless, that misses inside. He'll scoot down to first base with a leadoff walk.
Last guy you want to put on in a tie game, bottom of the 8th, as a leadoff runner. You know, regardless of whether or not Slater tries to make a break for second, he is going to be dancing, and he's going to be trying to get in the head of Matthew Beaton. Beaton, a right-handed pitcher. You know, we have no idea what his pickoff move looks like, but I imagine he's going to get a chance to work it out here and try and demonstrate what he can do to try and keep Slater close, because Slater will be definitely looking to go first or third on anything to the outfield.
Slater 4 for 4 on steals on the year. Jusic squares to bunt, pulls it back. That one's in the dirt. Good stop by DeLeo to keep Johnny Slater at first base. 1-0 on Jusic. He singled his last time up. And that was the one that I thought really should have scored Johnny Slater from second base. Base running error. Slater looking to redeem himself out there right now. Jusic squares to bunt, pulls it back. Now taking all the way. Evens the count at 1-1 with a strike. Outfield continues to play deep in a no doubles look here. Very deep, way behind that M carved so nicely into the outfield grass. Throw over to first. Slater's back in easily with a head first slide. Slater as you mentioned, does have good speed, so we were surprised that he didn't score, but could go first or third on a single here, especially with how deep the outfielders are playing. Jusic squares to bunt again, but first a throw over to first base. Montgomery catches that toss from Matthew Beaton, but Slater in there safely.
Yeah, and every throw so far, Slater has been in easily, almost to the point where he doesn't have to slide head first.
1-1 pitch. Slater, and it's a hit and run. Slater will get over to second, but an easy ground ball right to Rubino. He'll take in a few skips and toss over to first base. Nonetheless, the hit and run some kind of works as Slater moves up, but Jusic just kind of stuck his bat out there to get the bat on the ball, and Slater's able to move up to second base, runner in scoring position with one out here for the Wolverines.
Yeah, same effect as a bunt would have been. And Jusic was squaring to bunt. The only difference there is that hitting the ball has the advantage of you're forcing the fielder to make a play, and that he's expecting the bunt, and you can catch him a little bit off guard by pulling back and swinging the bat. And Rubino ended up handling it well, but I like the call there going with the hit and run. We saw that a lot that last year from Bakic, not quite as much this year.
Jeanette checks his swing on the first pitch. 1-0. Slater standing on second base, itching to come home and give the Wolverines the lead. Eagles are deep all around in outfield. No doubles luck here on Dominic Jemet, the righty DH here today. 0 for 3, grounded into double play his last time up. That one did get the run in. They'll throw it back to second, or at least fake the throw. Beaton had me faked out there, as he did Johnny Slater, who dove back in head first, but didn't even make a throw, as Rubino was not quite ready for that one. So good move there by Beaton not to throw it into center field and perhaps allow Slater to score. Count remains 1-0 on Jemet. Here's the delivery. Breaking ball outside at the knees. Evens the count at 1-1.
Good pitch. He laid that one right in there, and that's a pitch that even if Jemet swings, the best he can hope to do is foul it off to the right side. He's not going to get good contact on that. If Beaton could just throw that same pitch every single time, there'd be no chance for the hitters.
1-1 pitch. Tries to do the same pitch, but as you mentioned, he can't throw that same pitch every single time. Tries to pour the breaking ball in there, but he's unsuccessful and runs the count to 2-1.
Yeah, just a hair or two further outside, and Jemet, the good eye, lays off.
Jemet waiting in that righty batter's box. Slater takes his lead off second base. Rubino holding somewhat close with him. Checks the runner, now delivers 2-1 pitch. That one's a strike. Don't know what Jemet was looking for there. That was a pitch to drive.
Yeah, that was kind of in on the hands, and that was in Jemet's wheelhouse. It basically as close as it gets to being on a tee for him. Not sure why he didn't pull the trigger, but still in there with a 2-2 count.
2-2 count indeed. Here's delivery home. Slater going, and there's a hit and run. That'll be popped up, and they'll be take a high chop. So kind of the same effective as a hit and run. We saw Slater going on the pitch again, and Jemet doing a good job to make sure that one gets down in the ground. Actually, a little too much down in the ground. Took a big high chop. I believe that was Rubino at second base who ended up grabbing that off one big high chop and then toss it over to first. That Montgomery covering for the second out.
Yeah, that's something you'll only see on turf. From our vantage point, I thought that was a line drive to the second baseman. They were just going to touch up second for the double play, but the umpire in the way couldn't quite see the ball hit right in front of the plate, and the turf propelled that one 15, 20 feet in the air for Rubino.
First pitch to Kendall Patrick is in the dirt-colored turf, as Eli just mentioned, but that will also draw a mound visit from the Eastern Michigan Eagles pitching coach. We do see someone warming up in the bullpen. Unsure exactly who that is. It could be Sam Delaplane, but I'm not sure. Nonetheless, Matthew Beaton's day is over. There will be a new pitcher for the Eagles. We'll get you that word on who that is as soon as he comes in. All the Eagles infield and catcher are meeting on the mound. Meanwhile, Slater will go over and have a word with his coach as well. And we'll see a new pitcher. That will be Sam Delaplane. My eyes have not failed me quite yet. I was able to eye him as he was coming in from deep right field. Eli, what are you looking for out of Delaplane in this outing?
Aren't you like 20, 19? Delaplane got to come in here and, do what the Eagles pitchers have done so far today. Come in with 2 outs in a tough situation and shut down the Wolverines. Wolverines have scored just 2 runs, and as a high-powered offense, it's surprising to see them score only 2 runs against primarily the bullpen of a MAC opponent. Wolverines are threatening, though, with Slater on third base. Delaplane, has got to go right after Kendall Patrick. Kendall Patrick, the 9-hitter right now, in for Lugbauer, hitting about where he would be hitting anyways, the lower half of the order, if he had started this game. And he's a guy that you gotta be sure that the guy that you get is Kendall Patrick, and that you're not letting somebody on and then facing the top of the order, because the top of the order is certainly much tougher competition than the bottom half here for the Wolverines. Also, if that run were to score, if Jamet or somebody else were to hit him in, that's the go-ahead run going into the top of the 9th inning. Then you put your offense in a really tough position of having to score a run against, whoever is coming in for the Wolverines. Could perhaps be Cronenworth as the closer, or Brian Paul, the freshman. There are some Wolverines down there in the bullpen. Not sure that any of them would end up being the ones to come into this game.
I believe that's Matt Ogden, number 37. Yeah, we'll see if they're the ones that actually end up coming in, as you mentioned. But
binoculars would be swell at the moment.
Our focus turns to the plate. Delaplane inherits a 1-0 count and squares to bunt. Interesting move there, as the infield was very far back, bunting for a base hit and an RBI, the go-ahead RBI.
Yeah, going to the right side would be the right play here, with the first baseman playing way deep. If you can get it to where the pitcher has to track back into his left.
2-0 delivery. That's popped in the air. Montgomery giving chase, and that one will get out of play. He'll run out of room there. And we'll now draw a round of applause from the Wolverines faithful, eager to see that Kendall Patrick stays alive and has another chance to knock in Johnny Slater for the go-ahead run from third base.
Patrick, first at bat on the day, a .233 hitter on the season. On base percentage at .376. Not too great with runners on, though. 184 and 182 with them in scoring position, respectively.
Slater takes his lead off third. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That one's high. 3-1 good hitters count here for Kendall Patrick. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Wolverines trying to break up this tie game. We're tied at 2. Eastern Michigan Eagles visiting their crosstown rivals, Michigan Wolverines. Here's the 3-1 delivery. That one's high. And Patrick will flip the bat away and trot down to first base. Runners in the corners with 2 outs for the Wolverines. That will leave it up to Jacob Cronenworth. He'll have a shot to break this game open and give the Wolverines a lead. Not what Delaplane wanted to do there. As you mentioned, doesn't want to put the number 9 hitter on for free. Now he must face that tough top of the order in succession, Cronenworth, Bivens, Mazes, Benedetti, if they all did come to the plate. That'd be quite a challenge. DeLeo will step out in front of home plate to run over the signs with his pitcher.
Yeah, you don't want to face the top of the order, but on the other hand, it's up to Cronenworth now to come in here and get a clutch hit. The outfield is playing still close to a no doubles depth, particularly in right and center fields. And it's up to Cronenworth to get something he can hit and put it in the outfield.
First pitch in the dirt.
It's also on Delaplane to get the ball in the strike zone so that, so that it doesn't get past his catcher to Leo and just give up a free run to a very speedy Slater on third base.
Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swung on right at the shortstop. Let will toss over to Rubino, and the inning is over. Once again, the Wolverines strand some runners, and we head to the top of the 9th inning, all tied at 2. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Eli Sherman. Once again, Eli, the Wolverines failed to get it done. What's the explanation?
Well, again, just failure to string hits together. You can't really blame them, though. You know, they've had some nice swings. 7 hits on the day is pretty respectable, especially given the fact that they were getting no hit through 4. And so they've come on late here, especially after they were able to chase Huckabee, the starting pitcher for the Eagles. And you know, I think they're going to break through at some point. They gotta, you know, something's got to change. Otherwise, they're going to be looking at the bottom. They're going to be on the bottom looking up at the end of this one. Wysocki stays in the game for the Wolverines. Now working in his 3rd inning. Would have expected perhaps a pitching change had he gotten the run support in the bottom of the 8th, but alas, he will remain in the game.
He's been solid so far. 1 hit, 1 walk, but he's been able to escape with any further trouble. And coming up will be the 8-9 one-hitters for the Eagles. Devaney, Lett, and Peterson. Devaney has the Eagles' only hit outside of Rubino and Montgomery. Those two have been provided all the fireworks for the Eagles. Montgomery responsible for both RBIs with a double and a triple to knock in Rubino, who is 4 of 5 on stolen base attempts, 4 singles on the day. He's been a terror. Wolverines want to try and just knock out these 8-9 one-hitters before they have to face John Rubino again. Wysocki delivers. Swing and a foul ball. Just barely got a piece of it. That ball will be discarded. Robert Lothian didn't like the looks of that one. So he'll switch out for a new ball. Luke Devaney standing in the right-handed batter's box, waiting for the strike 1 pitch. Here it comes. Breaking ball way high. Kendall Petrick had to snag that one.
And Wysocki a little bit restless on that pitch. Just released it a little early.
Evens the count at 1-1. Wolverines average depth in the outfield, straight up all around. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled way out of play. Down the first base line. Gets out into that parking lot.
Back towards the track where the men's team is finishing up their practice over there.
Count at 1-2. Devaney waving that bat. Here comes the pitch. That one's a line drive, and that will take one skip by Mazes. Just kind of died, and Mazes was able to pick it up on one hop, throw it over to Kyle Jusick for the first out of the inning.
That's a real nice piece of fielding by Mazes coming in, fielding it on the short hop. You know, had to lay the glove a little bit out in front of him to make the play and lift that one up off the ground. And then, you know, from there, the play was basically routine, but, you know, coming in on the grass and making that snag was really nice.
And Lett takes the first pitch, a breaking ball right at the knees for a strike. And once again, that was one where the turf really caused a big rebound. I thought that was a line drive, but that was actually a rebound off the turf. Strike 1 count is another high chop. Bivens will feel it this time. Throw to first. He's got to hurry, and he throws that one away. But no play, and now they'll throw back into first. Getting back to the bag, David Lett is back in there, and I think they'll rule that one a hit. Bivens had a tough play on a high chop. Really couldn't charge it. And the speedy David Lett gets on first with one out here in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, Bivens really had to rush the throw on that one. You know, it was the choice between holding the ball and getting the ire of your coach and you know, or throwing the ball over to first base and having to rush the throw to get it there and risk throwing it away. And they're lucky that Kendall Patrick was right there to back up Jusick. Ball didn't get too far away from Jusick. He was able to just pick it up.
First pitch to Jordan Peterson is outside. Breaking ball misses. Count goes to 1-0. Peterson 0 for 4 on the day as the leadoff hitter. 3 groundouts, as well as a pop out his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. Wolverines straight up average depth in the outfield. Peterson standing in that righty batter's box, waiting for the 1-0. Wysocki delivers. That one's fouled off down the right field line. That'll get into the parking lot. Count goes to 1-1. And the Wolverines getting ready to face Rubino, the ever dangerous second baseman, standing in the on-deck circle. 1-1 pitch. Lead is going off. That was a hit and run. And Peterson just fouled that one off. Count goes to 1-2. 1-2 the count on Jordan Peterson. We'll reset the scene. It's tied at 2 here in the top of the 9th. Eagles got a runner on. That's David Lett, the shortstop. He'll throw over and try and keep him close. Cam Wysocki, that is. But Lett's in there with a dive. Waiting for the 1-2 count is Jordan Peterson. So taking a few practice cuts in that righty batter's box. Now Wysocki delivers. That one's ripped to left field. That's getting down corner. Fair ball. And Lett will round third. He is going to be held up there. He's caught off third base. Throw home. And perhaps a better communication by the Wolverines would have got Lett doubled off. Nonetheless, a double by Peterson, and the Eagles are in business. Runners at second and third with their best hitter, John Rubino, coming to the plate.
David Lett has real nice wheels coming in there. You know, he went first to third on a ball hit to the left field corner. Not too deep out there in left field either, only 312 down the line. Benedetti got there as quickly as he could.
Now Kendall Patrick will go out to have a word with his pitcher Cam Wysocki. Do you think perhaps they put him on? He's just been devastating so far today.
Yeah, I think that's something they have to consider. You know, you've got second and third in a tie game, top 9. I wouldn't be surprised to see them put Rubino on. The problem is McGeehan, though he's 0 for 4 today, he's not a bad hitter there in the on-deck circle. And then if it gets to him behind him, Montgomery is, you know, just on a tear today, 2 for 2 with an intentional walk of his own. And you know, he's one of the better hitters in this lineup. Looks like Wysocki is going to come out.
That'll be the end of the day for Cam Wysocki. 2 1/3 inning pitch, 3 hits. He is responsible for those runners on second and third. John Rubino will step in, and it looks like the new pitcher will be Matt Ogden indeed. Number 37 for the Wolverines, the 6'3", 200-pound righty out of Aurora, Colorado from Smoky Hill High School. Do you think they can shut it? Do you think Matt Ogden will be able to shut the Eagles down and keep this game tied?
Oh, I think Matt Ogden is certainly able to. You know, the key is to go after Rubino if they're going to do so. I'm sure that the coach Bakich had that discussion with Ogden beforehand. You know, this is what we're going to do with Rubino. And then after Rubino, you know, you got to go right after guys. If you do decide to walk Rubino, they're probably going to play with the corners in and the middle infield at double play depth up the middle, try and get, you know, a double play somewhere. And then otherwise, if you end up with 2 outs after Rubino, you're going to be playing regular depth, look for something on the ground and just try and get out of the inning. You know, your last, you know, your number one goal in this inning is to keep that guy on third base from getting in.
Indeed it is. Trying to keep this game tied. Matt Ogden, owner of a 3.37 ERA on the year, a whip just a shade over at 1.5 at 1.57. 21 1/3 inning pitched. He's given up 26 hits in those 21 1/3 innings. 8 runs, 9 runs, 8 of those earned. 19 strikeouts against 7 walks. And boy, would a strikeout be big here. Also has given up a few extra base hits, 6 doubles, and a triple. Also has notched 1 save on the year. Does have some good stuff. Somewhat of a hard thrower, and he's going to have to shut down the hottest hitter on both teams right now. That's John Rubino, 4 for 4 on the day. Also 4 or 5 steals. So don't want to allow him to get on, as he can be a devastating base runner as well.
Well, looks like they're going to go after him. Kendall Patrick down in the crouch. The Wolverines fielders are playing in. Both the outfielders and the infielders are playing in. So the outfielders are looking to cut down the run.
First pitch. That one swung and belted deep to center field. That's going to be over the head of Bruder. That will get down, and that will score 2. Rubino is motoring. He's rounding second. Bruder just picked up the ball. Rubino will cruise into third with a triple. And there's a 2 RBI triple from Rubino. Rubino makes the Wolverines pay again. 5 for 5 on the day. And the Eagles have a 2-run lead here in the top of the 9th.
And that's killer, First pitch, guy lifts the ball up in the air. I think if Bruder had been back in regular depth, he would have caught that ball. But where he was is exactly where he has to be on that. Try and get, any shallow hit into the plate and try and avoid the bloopers. Now the Wolverines are going to continue to play with the infield in. Looks like they're going to go with a lefty now out of the bullpen. Looks like Oliver Jaskey is the guy.
And Iden will throw one pitch and give up the biggest hit of the game. A huge triple by John Rubino. And as you mentioned, just doing what he was asked, just lift the ball in the air, try and get a sacrifice fly if necessary, get the go-ahead run, but able to do that 2 better by knocking in 2 runs. And now he's standing on third himself with only 1 out. So the Eagles can still add an insurance run here and try and get their runner home from third with less than 2 outs.
Yeah, so Jassie's going to come into the game 2-0 on the season, 16 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 11 runs, 9 earned, 12 walks to 18 strikeouts, and 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a long ball to his credit. Jaskie's done a nice job in his early career here in Ann Arbor, a freshman left-hander. The ERA is a little bit high at 4.96, but he has quite a bit of speed out of the left side. Sits in the low 90s, and it rides in on the hands real hard for the left-handed hitters.
Standing at 6'3", 205 pounds. We last saw him in that brutal Friday night loss against Penn State. Participated in some of the gave up some of those runs for the Nittany Lions, pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, both of those earned on only 1 hit, perhaps due to the fault of 2 walks, also recorded 2 strikeouts. So looking to bounce back from that rough outing and limit any further damage here. Wolverines can't afford to go down 3 headed to the bottom of the 9th. They'll bring up Mitch McGeehan, the third baseman. He's lifted everything in the air so far today. Flyouts to first center, then 2 to right field, and then a deep pop out to Jake Bivens, the shortstop, was last time up. But I think this is a rare situation where they would actually be happy with him just continue his trend. And if he can lift something deep, that should be deep enough for a sac fly to score the very speedy Rubino on third base. It doesn't need to be that deep to score him on a sacrifice fly and give the Eagles a 3-0 lead, or 3-run lead, excuse me. And they will intentionally walk him here. Set up a potential double play. But what do you think of this move to walk McGeehan, who's 0 for 4 in the day, to try and get to Montgomery?
I think it's one guy too late. I think the guy to intentionally walk would have been Rubino, who's now standing on third, 5 for 5 on the day, with that 2 RBI triple. And Michigan is, trying to salvage and lick their wounds after making the mistake of not intentionally walking Rubino to take advantage of a bases loaded situation with 4 outs, and now they've got first, third with 1 out. They're going to need that double play ball, and they're going to have to get to the bats, which they've had trouble doing all day so far today.
John Montgomery has been on as much of a tear as John Rubino. 2 for 2, also with 2 walks. One of those fully intentional, one of those the unintentional intentional walk. Fastball outside. Perhaps the Wolverines are going to pitch around Montgomery here as well to try and get to Menichevsky. Jaski takes a long look in. Rubino standing on third. McGeehan at first. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball misses high. 2-0 now. Meza standing one step onto the infield grass at third base. Now he'll back up just a little bit. Dusick holding with McGeehan at first. 2-0 the count here. That one misses, or excuse me, hits for a strike. Another late call by Robert Lothian had me fooled. 2-1. Menichevsky on deck for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. At the plate is John Montgomery. He's done some damage. First 2 RBIs for the Eagles here today. 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled straight back, and that will bounce off the suite right next to us. Count even now, 2-2.
Suite empty today. Normally see people there on the weekends, birthday parties and such.
Unless the count is even at 2-2. This would be a big strikeout here for the young left-hander. Oliver Jaski comes set. He delivers the 2-2 pitch. That one's a ground ball to second. Flip to second. Relay to first base. And they got him. Double play. So the Wolverines give up 2 runs to the Eagles, but a big double play their ball induced by Oliver Jaski. And the Wolverines need a rally here as we head to the bottom of the ninth. They trail the Eastern Michigan Eagles 4-2.
Yeah,
you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, it might be a little bit too little too late there for the Wolverines. Delaplane going to come back into the game, though, for the Eagles. He's allowing hitters to hit .412, the leadoff hitters, when he faces them. So whoever it is, Bivens, that in all likelihood, assuming he doesn't get pulled, he is favoring that right leg still. He's going to have to jump on Delaplane and try and get something working for him as quickly as possible because Wolverines are down 2. They've stranded 11 guys on base today. And, base runners are what you need right now. And then you need to connect and you need to convert on the opportunities that the guys in front of you give you. Otherwise, they're going to be losing the Eastern for the second year in a row. They, of course, won last week, but
you gotta, for the Wolverines, you gotta like who you've got coming to the plate. The 2, 3, 4 hitters, arguably the 3 most dangerous hitters in your lineup. Also, a potent weapon in Jackson Gline sitting on the bench. Perhaps he could be called on to pinch hit in a situation here as well. Jake Bivens, the lefty, standing in there. Here's the first pitch. That one's high. That draws DeLeo out of his crouch. Wolverines on the top step of that dugout, urging on every positive action for their team. They need to rally here in the 9th inning. 1-0 pitch. Hits on the inside corner for a strike, evening up at 1-1. Bivens 1 for 4 in the day. He singled in the 4th and came around to score the Wolverines' first run of the day. Count even at 1-1. Delaplane, the Eagles closer, delivers here. 1-1, just misses. Robert Lothian refuses to go up the right hand, and that draws the appreciation of the Wolverines faithful.
He flinched there. Looked like he was going to go up with the right hand, but just settled back in.
2-1 fouled right into the screen. Evens a count of 2-2. Travis Meza standing on deck. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Outfield very deep all around, playing the lefty Jake Bivens to go the opposite way with Devaney shaded towards left center. He'll take a few more steps in that direction with the count of 2-2. Here's the delivery. He's a little late on that one and fouls it down the third baseline. That gets into the Yost parking lot. Count remains 2-2. Bivens on deck, Mays on deck, Benedetti in the hole. Wolverines need base runners They need 2 runs here to get this game tied and send it to extra innings or maybe even win it. They trail 4-2. Here's the 2-2 delivery. That almost hit him, but he got out of the way. Count runs full. Delaplane running into a little bit of trouble here. He came in for the last out of the 8th, going for that. Actually, he'd be in position for the win, but he's effectively the closer for the Eagles. Already 6 saves on the year. Here's the full count delivery. That one's fouled off down the left field line. Bivens stays alive.
Ooh, hit a Jeep hard. Somebody's going to be going to the body shop after this one.
We'll reset at 3-2. No outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Wolverines trail the Eastern Michigan Eagles 4-2. They need base runners. Here's the full count delivery right back to the pitcher, Delaplane. He will run it half the way there and then underhand flip it to Montgomery for the first out of the 9th. So a good battle there by Jake Bivens, but he is unable to get anything out of it, and he accounts for the first out of the 9th.
Real nice pitch by Delaplane there. Getting Bivens to jam that one. And, Bivens' attempt there was to try and foul it off and see another pitch, but Delaplane just got it too good on him, and Bivens couldn't react quick enough to be able to pull a foul, and instead ends up walking back to the dugout.
Travis Mazes watches the first one go by high and outside. It's 1-0. They once again have the overshift on Travis Mazes, who's 1 for 2 in the day so far. 1-0 pitch. Strike right over the heart of the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. Montgomery standing a few steps off the line and deep at first base. Rubino is onto the outfield grass. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got on with the changeup there. 1-2.
Yeah, that off-speed pitch got Mazes there. He was swinging for the fences. Swung well past that one.
David Lett just on the right side of second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He got him. What is Travis Mazes doing? He watches that one go by, and he is rung up by Robert Lothian. The Wolverines are down to their final out here.
Yeah, that one right over the outer third of the plate, but definitely a strike. And with 2 strikes, 1 out, down 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, got to get your bat off the shoulder. But that's in the past. Benedetti's going to come in and try
and he almost hit him. That was a wild throw there by Delaplane.
I was going to say try and extend the game, but in that case, it would have been Delaplane extending the game, putting Benedetti on. Benedetti nearly went all the way down to the floor.
Outfield deep and straight up all the way around on Carmen Benedetti. No doubles look here for the Eagles. They're holding on to the 2-run lead. 1-0 pitch. That's a strike in the inside corner. Evens up at 1-1. Bruder standing on deck. He wants a chance to bat. We'll see if he gets it. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Delaplane. Breaking ball misses way outside. 2-1. Wind blowing from left field to right field. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Wolverines looking to rally. 2-1 pitch. That was lofted high in the air, and that could do it. Devaney is over. He will make the catch, and that will be the end of the game. Eastern Michigan Eagles come into Ray Fisher Stadium and take this one from the University of Michigan Wolverines. Disappointing loss for the Wolverines. They give up the go-ahead runs in the top of the 9th inning and end up falling 4-2 here. They've lost back-to-back games after falling in the Clash of Comerica yesterday. They fall 4-2 yesterday and 4-2 today. Back-to-back losses for the Wolverines. Eli, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I think it was just the offense for the Wolverines couldn't really string things together and hit consistently. We saw every time they got guys on base, they ended up struggling. And in this game, they left 11 guys on base in 9 innings of hitting, which is not going to do the trick. And, they're going to definitely get an earful from Coach Bakich after this game. And, particularly after losing yesterday, is back-to-back 4-2 losses for the Wolverines. They're gonna be hitting the cages the next couple of days and trying to work on the hitting, try and get back to basics, looking ahead for Friday against Purdue.
And fortunately for the Wolverines, both of these losses come in non-conference, although they are against some of their biggest rivalries in Michigan State and Eastern Michigan. They're crosstown rivals. They lose both of those 4-2, and with that, they fall to 21-16 on the year. With the win, the Eastern Michigan Eagles improved to 14-23. So your final lines: Eagles 4 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 9 left on base. Michigan with 2 runs, 7 hits, 11 left on base. Winning pitcher is Sam De La Plane, who came on for that last out of the 8th inning before retiring the Wolverines in order in the 9th. Cam Wysocki, who ended up giving up the double to the left field corner to put runners at 2nd and 3rd. He ends up taking the loss after John Rubino tripled them both home. Wolverines were able to limit the damage by Matt Ogden coming in and cleaning up the mess, but it was too little too late. And the Eagles take this one 4-2. That's going to wrap up our broadcast here from Ray Fisher Stadium. We want to remind you that we will have the broadcast of all 3 games this weekend as Michigan takes on the Purdue Boilermakers on their visit to Ray Fisher Stadium in a crucial Big Ten series. The first game will be Friday at 4 p.m., followed by Saturday at 2 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m. We have all 3 on the call, as well as softball taking on the Indiana Hoosiers just across the way from here at Alumni Field. We want to thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Andrew Hausman signing off for Eli Sherman. We'll send you home with a good night and go Blue.